with Tony Gwynn Jr.
I was outside the room and I saw Adam come sprinting in. I was like, what happened? Hot mic. That's all I heard.
Chris Ello.
Dak Prescott speaking of things that are off.
And Matt Scraby.
Sam must be a liker of his job.
Don't blame us for any side effects.
You thrilled our fans throughout the postseason with a great performance.
Gwynn and Chris are ready to go.
To Villalobos, back to Sheffey. It's over! Somehow, some way, unbelievably, they have climbed the mountaintop.
Oh,
Final score in triple overtime.
He's still talking.
Shut up. Yeah.
72-68.
Wow. I'll tell you, Scraby.
What?
My voice barely made that.
You didn't sound like that like 5 minutes ago.
I know my voice, but I didn't realize how emotional it sounded. That was a good call by somebody there. That was a good call. I hadn't heard it actually, and then you synced it up with some of the video.
Paul did that.
Great job. Thank you, Paul. Why? Oh, my camera's off course here. There we are. What a game that was, obviously. And here's the official. God, my camera won't stay. Come on. I'm right here. But here's the ticket they give you. You get a little March Madness ticket.
I don't know what is happening to this camera
I know.
right
The
now.
camera thing is crazy.
I don't know what's going on. It is
Doing what I
going
can.
wild right now.
All right. Anyway. And then I did get my little piece of the net. People saw it. I
Ooh.
know. It's not much, but I'll take it. It was very important to me to get up there and get a piece of the net.
I have a
felt like
question.
that was a big deal.
I have a question about the net cutting.
Yes.
How nervous are you that you're going to fall off the top of that ladder? Because ladders are not sturdy things.
They actually have two guys
Standing there holding
the ladder.
Okay,
which
then-
that helps quite a bit.
Yeah, I feel better then.
Yeah. And all the players obviously they go first. And what happened is they cut down all of the rungs with the longer pieces.
Gotcha.
And there was one rung left, but you have to save that for the coach who goes up last and then finishes the net cutting and puts the net around her neck, etc.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have much choice. I had to cut kind of in the middle of the net. So that's what I got, but that was important to me. I don't know why, but it just seemed like it was such a journey with these kids, and what a game that was. Anybody who saw it or heard about it, if you heard about it, your first thought would be, God, I wish I had watched some of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got all the
So-
Scrabinators going last night listening to you. Rod just said on the chat he listened to you from halftime on, and he said it was a great game, great call, all that.
Thanks, Rod. It was amazing. It was a game that took on like a life of its own after a while, and to call it and for them to win it. I mean, you started to realize in about the second overtime that they were either going to win and be going crazy, or they were going to be heartbroken beyond belief.
Yeah.
There was only two ways it could go at that point.
And it was an emotional roller coaster. They go up by 5
twice
in the first
Both
overtime
overtimes.
and the second
Both
overtime.
overtimes they led by 5 with a minute and a half to go.
Yeah.
And they do those win percentages.
Oh yeah.
And Ben Pearson, the media relations guy, was looking at that after the game. In the first overtime, we were 95% to win. And in the second overtime, we were 96% to win because there was less time.
Okay. I was like,
overtime.
okay, well, somehow Wyoming came back.
And
each
somehow
time.
Wyoming came back both times. I mean, it wasn't like, they weren't a heroic loser. They did everything they could. I'm sure that they are heartbroken today, but it went the Aztecs' way.
I have lots of calls.
Oh God, it's going to be one of those days. Veronica Sheffey, who was the tournament MVP, will be on the show today. I think it's going to be at 3:15. I don't really have time to change that up, Scrape. Can you?
Yes, I'll deal with
we'll
it.
work that out.
I'll deal with it.
Because we have a couple of guests on today. But yeah, that was something last night, and I appreciate everybody who listened and followed it. I know my listening audience was like 5 times what it normally is for an Aztec women's game, so that was a lot of fun to do that. And I tweeted out a couple of things today. I know that you probably saw the picture of me cutting down the net. There was another picture I put up of Stacy and I with the trophy. And normally when I tweet out a women's basketball tweet, 20, 30 people will like it, which I always appreciate. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's like 200 or 300 on those tweets. So it's like 10 times more people are interested and following this and excited about it.
Well, when you win a championship, it happens.
They won it in pretty good style, right? I mean, they had to beat the number 1 seed in the semifinals, the unbeatable UNLV team, and then they came back. And that game, I mean, Scraby, I don't know if I've ever seen a game, and I mean ever, where neither team led by more than 4 points the whole game until overtime.
And especially with no one scoring in the fourth quarter,
and
period.
Nobody could score in the fourth quarter. The total scoring in the fourth quarter was 6-4 because both teams came down and just played lights out defense and nobody could make a shot. And that added to the tenseness of it, because you would score. I think the Aztecs were down by 2 most of the fourth quarter, and 2 points seemed like they were down by 10 points because nobody could get open to make a shot.
I was feeling you on the frustration because I was listening, and they didn't commit a turnover until the third quarter, was it?
I think they had 1 until the third quarter.
And then they had like 7
in a row.
In a row.
I know.
And they let Wyoming. Yeah. I mean, it's just impressive that they had these parts of the game where they're giving up 7 straight turnovers and they're still finding a way to stay in it.
That's because their defense was so good. Wyoming would come down and they couldn't get a shot. So, the Aztecs would turn it over. And anyway, it took on a life of its own. It was an incredible game. I know the kids were absolutely spent after it was over, but they did their due celebrating last night. And I know they'll do that for a few days until they find out Sunday night where they go for the NCAA tournament. One last thing on it, and then we'll have Veronica on a little later. But for Stacey Terry Hudson, Scraby, 12 years it took to get to there, and it couldn't happen to a more quality coach and person. More importantly, quality person than her. And JD Wicker was sitting 2 seats down from me during the game, and he was just a wild ball of emotions. Sitting there, and every time they turned it over, like in that stretch, he was like, ah! And then when they scored, he'd be like, yeah! I mean, and then when it went to the second overtime, it was like, oh my God. Then when it went to the third overtime, just the emotions, the back and forth of it was incredible. But JD said after the game, he goes to Stacey, he said, you know what? You did it the right way.
I love that.
And
I love that because in this day and age, there is still people that want to do it the right way, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, you like to see them finally have their success. So she did. They'll go to the NCAA tournament. Now it's up to the men to try to follow in their footsteps. The men's team gets underway here in about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes in Las Vegas. The New Mexico game just ended there. New Mexico beat San Jose State in the first tournament game.
We have a question on the chat
in the Mountain West. Night. Yeah. But anyway, to finish up, Aztecs men will start at 2:30 or so.
Yes.
What's the question?
Did you cry?
Yeah, a couple times.
Okay.
Because I saw people that this meant a lot to.
Did they have the guy following you, like sweeping up the tears to make sure no one tripped?
I wasn't bawling my eyes out, I'm gonna tell you who got me was Stacey Terry's Hudson's mother, Leslie, who comes to every game for 12 years.
Okay.
Not every game, every home game, and has traveled with us many times, and I've got to know her very well. And nobody roots, you root for your kid probably harder than anybody. And, we've all been through the lowest of lows. That team has been eliminated in the first round of that tournament 3 or 4 times under Stacey Terry Hudson. And, we talked about it at the time. I mean, is she going to keep her job? And J.D. Wicker kept her because she was doing things the right way. That was why she stayed. And to go from there to where they got last night, when I saw her mom was obviously, she was bawling her eyes out. So I blame her for that, Scrape. She made me do it.
I won't make fun of you in this instance because you weren't just watching it on a TV screen.
It was something. All right. Look, so the Padres game is where are they at now? about the 8th inning or so.
I think they're almost to the 9th.
Yeah, they're playing a pretty quick game today.
Mason McCoy just hit a home run.
Hey, Mason McCoy. We haven't even mentioned his name as like a possibility to make the team.
Oh, they're just going into the 9th right now.
All right, 4-2 Padres lead going to the 9th inning. Good start for Yu Darvish today.
Oh, yeah.
4 innings, just allowed 2 hits, 1 run. So,
can we talk about Kolek too? He went 4 innings.
Yes, he did.
3 hits.
Same thing.
2 Ks,
Very
only 1
good.
run.
Yeah. The number 5 spot has become wide open now because Waldron has pitched so badly. And I know that, is it going to be Kolek is probably still in the hunt for that number 5 spot to start the season.
I read that Kyle Hart was going to get the number 5 spot, but I couldn't confirm
I haven't seen
elsewhere.
that confirmed anywhere.
Yeah. I haven't seen that confirmed either.
Read it as well, but I haven't seen that confirmed by the Padres that they've given him the spot. So the guy that also seems to be getting more and more, playing time as we get closer to the end of spring training is Martin Maldonado. He was in there again today. He had an RBI, which I think is his first RBI of the spring. He's hitting 067, but they seem to love him. They absolutely seem to love him, and I'm having a feeling that he's going to make the team over Campusano now.
I was just about to say, I think Campusano, I've seen some defensive mishaps already. I've seen some issues. I don't think they feel comfortable bringing Campusano in to the season right now. I just don't see it.
Yeah, it very well could end up that the 2 catchers are Elias Diaz and Martin Maldonado. So, but there's still a lot to be determined. We're heading down to Peoria to do our shows on Monday and Tuesday, so we're excited by that. But really, we're kind of knee deep in the March Madness right now, and we'll talk more about it. There's all kinds of games going on all over the country today. Cooper Flagg, major injury for Duke today. We'll discuss his prospects for the rest of the ACC tournament and beyond, and the rest of what's going on in sports on this Thursday. Sun is shining finally in San Diego after some serious rain, I heard. But
serious rain.
Yeah. Serious. I heard it was really coming down out there.
Oh, it was. Oh no!
Wow, it is raining really hard. This is being cool here on the Entercom Empire. So if you're sitting out there,
I went on a walk.
The overrated part of that whole thing is Tony going, what?
Because he's legitimately curious about what just happened to my brain.
Yeah.
This morning I went on a walk, and so I looked at the radar. I looked at outside, nothing. It looked like there was some sun in the sky. 2 days in a row, Chris. I go on a walk, and 5 minutes in, it is just pouring rain on me.
Lucky got pelted again.
Lucky was just jumping up and down in a puddle the whole time. I'm like, let's go home, dude. I'm tired of it.
Got a crazy dog over there. Gwynn and Chris is underway. Crazy days indeed. Thanks for being with us. A lot more as we just get underway on 97.3 The Fan. should have Tony quite a bit earlier than normal today, as the Padre game is already into the 9th inning. They are playing in Surprise, though, so he has to drive back. But
Where is Surprise? Okay.
It's not as far away as Talking Stick, where he got caught up in that traffic yesterday.
I don't think he appreciated my chop text message yesterday.
He should have appreciated your message that said, there looks like there's a little room where you could go in and out of traffic. I thought that was really funny.
There's definitely room.
I thought
Chris.
that was actually pretty funny from you.
You know, he also he drives an electric vehicle, which anyone who drives an electric vehicle, it just gives them license to weave in and out. You know,
they seem to feel that way.
They do.
The electric drivers.
I gotta give a quick PSA.
Okay,
slow down, people. Slow down.
What
today on the way to work.
Really?
Saw a guy race past me, and I got mad. I didn't think anything of it. Well, I get to 805, right where the Miramar is, and there's a massive stoppage, and that guy got into an accident because they were driving too fast.
Yeah.
And I didn't see the accident. I just passed it, and I was like, oh, that was the car that passed me. Slow down, people. Come
on. Okay.
Sorry.
I don't really think I'm gonna go on the other side of your.
You're gonna tell people to speed up?
I'm not, but what I am gonna say is that normally in San Diego, the minute it rains, everyone goes like 1 mile an hour.
Okay.
So I don't want you to do that either.
No, go a safe speed. It's not hard.
Keep the traffic flowing along.
It's not hard.
All right. Aztecs and Boise State, they get underway shortly in Las Vegas. How big of a game is this? Well, according to Jerry Palm right now, the Aztecs are the last team in. Boise State is the first team out.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, I don't know how much more you can be putting on the line.
Seriously.
I know if the Aztecs win this game, I'm almost assured, and they are almost assured of being in the tournament. If they lose this game, they are going to really be sweating between now and Sunday. That's all I know. I mean, there's just going to be too many things that can go crazy and haywire. So this is kind of a must game. And you know how I am, Scraby. I go crazy during these games.
Mm-hmm.
But after last night, I don't know how much I have left. Like, that took so much out of me last night that I think the Aztec men are just going to have to kind of take care of themselves today.
I think that they're just going to take care of business.
We'll see.
I'm being optimistic.
Yeah, they beat Boise State twice already. And then what'd you say? It's hard to beat a team for the third time. And you ended up right. Because Wyoming couldn't beat the Aztec women for a third time.
Except for in this case, you know. The
in
Aztecs,
this case, you're giving it
the Aztecs
okay.
men's on March 13th, 2025, exception to the rule.
Exception to the rule. All right, real quick, at some point in the show today, that's between now and 6 o'clock, you out there are going to have a chance. This is pretty cool. 2 tickets to this Saturday's San Diego FC game against the Crew.
Oh,
the Crew's coming in. The Columbus Crew.
They're a big team.
Yeah, they're one of the originals.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They're original. Snapdragon Stadium. Get tickets now at sandiegofc.com/tickets. First thing about that game, the SDFCers and the Crew are both 2-0-1. They're both undefeated to start the season.
Battle of the powerhouses.
Well, you look, it's early, but San Diego FC is in second place. I mean, it's only 3 games in, but it's been a pretty good start for their expansion season, right? I mean, I think Vancouver is 3-0, and then we're right there, 2-0-1. And I'm actually reading that backwards because in soccer, they list the draws first. So I should say 2-1-0. But that would be confusing to the rest of us who expect it to go win, loss, draw.
I'm just looking at points from now on.
Yeah, look at the points. They got 7 points out of a possible 9.
Yeah, which is good.
And Vancouver's got 9 out of 9. But the other thing is, what has to be addressed has been addressed by San Diego FC. And we said it at the time 2 weeks ago. They did everything right, during the inaugural game, when the anti-gay slurs came. I think San Diego FC did it right. We know that the coach, Mikey Varas, he handled it with great, class after the match. And the organization, I think, handled it as best they could. But they've had to go further and they have. So San Diego FC is basically put a complete bulletin message out there, and if anybody at the game on Saturday night starts using this chant, and they're going to have extra security looking for this. So you use it, you're kicked out, and you're not going to be allowed back.
Yep.
Simple as that. So I think you can't blame the team and the organization. I don't think anybody is.
No.
But you can't blame them. They're doing everything they can. They're also enforcing the FIFA 3-step protocol, which means one time it happens, they stop the match. 2 times it happens, they suspend the match. 3 times it happens, you basically lose.
If you want to cause a team to lose, then go for it, I guess.
I really hope that the message gets through.
I think this is definitely
because this is
get through.
Unfortunate that this isn't the focus. I'm not going to allow it to be the focus. The team doing well so far is the thing for me, but I don't want this to take over, a brand new expansion franchise and have this be an issue for some reason in America's finest city.
I absolutely love that they came out and they said, here's the deal.
That's right.
No exceptions.
They're doing absolutely everything they can.
They've set the tone. They have told people
Yeah.
what is expected of them. And if you don't follow it, then you're out.
That's it. So go to the match Saturday, have a great time, yell and scream and party and do everything you want to do.
Yeah.
Just don't chant something stupid. It just makes us all look bad. Even those of us who haven't been to a match yet. I think we get attached to it. Oh, San Diego, this is where that's going,
Sorry,
Come
I
on,
said you didn't go to a match yet.
Oh, is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
I missed one match.
I know.
Give me a break. God. All right. San Diego.
He did not like that.
God. I mean,
Sorry.
You know how I am about opening day. So,
You hate it.
That's right. So same kind of thing. All right. One other quick note, Cooper Flagg, if you were watching earlier today, went down on the ankle, coming down, trying to grab a rebound in the Duke victory over Georgia Tech in the ACC tournament. He was seen being pushed around in a wheelchair. I think that was just somewhat precautionary.
Yeah, it was dramatic, though.
It was a little dramatic, right? Isn't it? Yeah, it was a little dramatic. X-rays apparently have been negative, but Coach John Shire said there's no way he's playing tomorrow in the semifinals, and maybe not even in the final if they get there. I think the hope for Cooper Flagg is that they get him healthy for the NCAA tournament next week.
Yeah.
Now, Magoon Gwath is the other one with the Aztecs. You would think that I might have some insight, Scraby. One of the people I was hanging around with
Mark Ziegler?
in the hotel after the game last night, the women's game, was the Aztecs trainer, athletic trainer.
Oh, wow.
He was there.
That's some inside info.
You would think.
He wouldn't give you anything?
He couldn't shed any light on it. I don't think anybody really knows whether Magoon Gwath can play or not today.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
I know that they know, but this is their big secret. They need to hold it.
Well, we're not going to know if Magoon Gwath is playing today until they introduce the starting lineups, and he either runs out there or he doesn't. Mark Ziegler basically wrote today that he'll probably be in uniform, but that doesn't mean he'll be able to play.
What's the point of putting him in uniform if he's not going to play?
To scare the other team into thinking he might play? I don't know. Yeah, that's a very good. It's a very good question. Why don't they just tell us one way or another? Right? Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Etc.
We'll tell you all in about 5 minutes when they tip off.
When they tip off, we will know about Magoon Gwath. All right, break time. When we come back, a lot more Gwynn and Chris coming your way. The show can go in a whole lot of different directions today. I'm looking forward to Tony joining us today because it's been over a week since I've even spoken with the young man.
Yeah, definitely over a week.
So we'll have him.
The young man.
The young man. Well, he's a young. You're all young men, apparently, or compared to me.
Yeah, that's true.
So, all right, Gwynn and Chris, more coming up. Stick around.
The biggest guests in
All right, welcome back to the program. 2:34 is the time. Aztecs and Boise State will tip off shortly. We will obviously be keeping you up to date as the Aztec men now try to duplicate the run of the Aztec women. You know, both were number 4 seeds in the tournament, the women and the men. So
lucky number.
The path has been, paved out for the men to follow. We're going to have some more on the Aztec women's unbelievable game and victory last night. The tournament MVP, Veronica Sheffey, will be on the show in the 3:00 hour. Scraby's also going to drum up some more of my calls from the match.
I have
from the game in a way to try to embarrass me a little later on.
No. Can I say this? Can I say this, though?
I don't know what you're going to say.
I
don't know what you're going to say.
People know that I don't like to give you credit for things.
Right.
I have a hard time telling you good job.
Okay.
I thought you did a fantastic job last night.
That's cool.
You had the drama in there. When they came back for the second time in the second overtime, you kind of went like, what else can they do? I was with you.
Yeah.
Really good job, Chris.
All right. Appreciate that, Scrape. Very nice. Speaking of broadcasters, Brian Dunseth, a 10-year career in 9 years in the MLS. He played with New England, Miami, Columbus, Dallas, Real, Salt Lake, LA Galaxy, boo. He was also a defender for Team USA in the 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney. So Brian Dunseth, pretty good soccer guy, now does analyst work for the MLS on Apple Plus, and he's going to be on the program here in a few minutes because, hey, we're soccer crazy in San Diego, Scraby. You know, we got to get into this. We got a big match coming up Saturday night.
I have to say that we've talked more soccer than I thought we would through like the first 3 weeks of the season. Brian Dunseth is also calling this week's match, and he called SDFC's last week match. So he's all up to date.
Right.
And you'll hear him this weekend.
He also is the co-host of the very popular radio show called Counterattack, which appears on Sirius XM. I don't know if we're allowed to promote that since they're a competitor of ours. I just did promote it, though, so it's too late to take it back.
Well, there goes all the numbers.
Well, you wrote it, so I gotta read it.
It's fine. We could promote that. By the way, Magoon Guath, not in the starting lineup. Is on the bench with a big old knee brace, though.
Is he in uniform?
He's in uniform.
Okay. So,
and he looks like he's in a really good mood. He was doing something, talking to someone.
I don't know. We'll see if he gets in the game. But, for now, he's not going to be starting as they get underway in that Boise State game. We're going to talk some MLS with Mr. Dunseth here in just a couple of minutes. He'll help us preview the Saturday night match. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Frozen Ropes. Hey. Parents, San Diego, message from Coach Kurt at Frozen Ropes. Listen up. Is your child 6 to 12 years old? Sometimes you act.
I don't know why
I'm looking at you because you act that age sometimes. Their baseball summer league is the perfect fit for your player. Starting June 16th through August 17th, summer league includes 8 practices, 8 games. This is Frozen Ropes. Register by March 31st and save $100. Do something great for your baseball playing kid. Go to SanDiegoFrozenRopes.com. All right.
.com.
I said that.
I know.
I did say that. Aztecs lead 2-0.
Oh, they're underway. Here we go now.
It's over. It's over.
I'm kind of nervous for them.
Yeah, I honestly really.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is not a good omen, Chris. Aztecs are shot a 3. It went all the way down and then popped out. That was brutal. Sorry. I'm going to call him now. Call Brian.
Wow. We're not going to make it through this game if you're going to do that.
I know. I need to
hours.
Chill out. I need to chill
a little
out.
early. All right. Couple of quick notes while Scraby gets Brian Dunseth on the line. Padres 4 and Royals 2. Now 5. Oh, my God. Nope. Not 4-2 anymore, Scraby. How about this? It's 5-5 in the bottom of the 9th. Jason Adam just coughed up a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th inning, and the game is tied against the Royals. I don't know that they'll go extra innings, but The bad news for the Padre bullpen continues. You have Suarez now with an ERA of 19.
Uh-oh.
You have Wandy Peralta getting bombed yesterday.
Yeah.
And now you have Jason Adam, of all people, giving up a 3-run homer in the bottom of the ninth.
They're trying
today.
new pitches.
I hope
Chris.
that they're all trying new pitches. Yeah. All right, we'll get back to that, but really excited to be joined by Brian Dunseth. This guy can kick the ball, Scraby.
Is that what they say,
He
Chris?
can kick the ball, man. 9 years in the MLS, played for the 2000 Summer Olympic Team, USA, and we're happy to have him on the show talking MLS. Brian Dunseth. How are you, Brian? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the time. For clarification, I was better kicking people than kicking the ball at the later stages of my career, but appreciate it nonetheless. Man.
Well, I thought, look, I mean, that's why they wear the shin guards, right? Just in case, in case Dunseth is on the field, make sure you.
Yeah. What did they say? What was it? Life of Brian, where they keep losing appendage by appendage. I appreciate the time, man.
That's really funny.
Cannot wait to head down to Snapdragon this weekend and check out the atmosphere around San Diego.
It was electric for the opening game a couple of weeks ago, Brian. There's no question, and I know you've seen the SDFC play here last week in Salt Lake. They beat Real Salt Lake with 2 goals in stoppage time, which is close to unheard of. They're off to a hell of a start for an expansion team. 2 wins and 1 draw so far. What did you think watching them in person last week?
I was really impressed, and I obviously had to pay attention to them for the first couple of weeks of the season on the road at LA Galaxy and then home against St. Louis, because I knew that we had back-to-back games in Salt Lake and then against Columbus Crew this weekend. I'd shortly gotten to know Mikey Veras when he was the interim head coach for the U.S. men's national team as a part of the coverage for Turner and TNT, and was really impressed. I mean, I was there for a training session, and he was digging into these big name players and looking for accountability, performance. And I just remember kind of that moment where it's like, oh, he's not just like a placeholder interim. Like, he's really in his mind, like he's coaching this group up. And just thinking about his timeline from Sacramento Public to FC Dallas to the US U20 national team, and then the assistant role, I knew he and Tyler were going to be incredibly successful. But I think now, the focus and the aim is, while creating their own identity, can they physically, prepare themselves for maybe a debut season similar to what we saw 2 years ago in St. Louis City SC, coming into Major League Soccer and really upending the Western Conference and ending top of the table when it was all said and done. Been very, very impressed on both sides of the ball. And the reality, guys, is we're 7 or 8 weeks in for this group of players to be playing together in an inaugural expansion season, and to put in the type of performances from a visual and technical aspect. It's been an extraordinary start to 2025.
Talking to Brian Dunseth, MLS Season Pass match analyst, and I was actually just about to ask you about that. How can you let us in a little bit, like on the field? What's something that SDFC is doing well that they shouldn't be because they haven't been together as long as other teams?
Their playing style. I mean, it is incredible to see how nuanced and yet decisive they are on both sides of the ball. I remember saying this the other day on the broadcast, that if you blurred the lines on the opener on the road at LA Galaxy, and you kind of blurred the colors, and you had no idea which team was who, an MLS Cup reigning champion or an expansion team, you would have thought that San Diego was the MLS Cup champion.
Wow.
And that LA Galaxy was the expansion team. That's how good they were. I thought they deserved multiple points, not just a single point, but 3 points against St. Louis. And the big thing for me was watching the manner in which they peppered Real Salt Lake for the first 18 minutes or so. They got hit in the transition moment. It was a great goal for Real Salt Lake. They got punched in the face for the first time, conceded a goal for the first time in their history.
Right.
And I was really intrigued without Chucky Lozano to see how they were going to respond. And I thought it was phenomenal, top to bottom. The relationship between the captain Surskov and Anibal Godoy, just watching the connectivity of how Jesper Loffelson and Negri tried to get forward. And that scorpion header was fantastic by Negri. And then ultimately Dreyer, right place, right time, constantly a menace in the attacking phase of play. I was a part of an expansion year in Real Salt Lake in 2005, and we were horrible. And when I mean horrible, we won 5 games the entire season. And I remember I was playing with the legend Eddie Pope, U.S. men's national team center back, one of the best in the history of the league. And I remember he and I just said, man, let's just do our job and hope the cards fall our way. Well, the cards very rarely fell our way. Yeah. But it was, it's been very, very, very impressive to see the way that this group has put together such a significant style of play with so much nuance to it, to have such early. And listen, Mikey and Tyler have both said to me publicly and privately, listen, we know there's peaks and valleys. We understand that it's not going to be always great. We know we're going to have to suffer through certain phases of the season. But they're nowhere close to suffering right now. They've been phenomenal.
Yeah. Brian Dunseth, MLS season pass. You can watch the match there this Saturday at 7:30, Snapdragon Stadium for the second home match in SDFC history. Chucky Lozano is hurt, sat out the last game. You talked about it. Just his presence, though, and being part of this franchise kind of electrified the soccer community here in town. Is he still that much of I don't want to say a threat, but is he still that kind of a player that can kind of, rub off on the rest of this young squad?
He absolutely is. He's going to be one of the elite creators in this league. And for the CONCACAF region, meaning, Canada, United States, all the way down to the Panama Canal, every soccer fan has been acutely aware of Chucky Lozano since coming through the Liga MX ranks. And to see him go to Napoli, at the time be represented by one of the biggest agents in the world, and now currently my best friend, my old former roommate from Cal State Fullerton, represents him, to see the success he had at Napoli, at PSV, and then coming to Real Salt Lake. It checks all the boxes. And there's a big reason why I think the proximity to Tijuana, to Cholos, to Liga MX, why you're getting such a significant interest from, the Spanish-speaking media is because when you have a superstar like Chucky Lozano in your side, that means that the general awareness from the Mexican media is going to be at a fever pitch at times. And then what he's capable of doing, we saw it at LA, and unfortunately only 15, 20 minutes against St. Louis, where when he's isolated one-on-one, whether it's the technical side, it's the trickery on the ball, or it's just the intelligence in which he plays the game, he's one of those special players that can create not only for himself, but for his teammates as well.
Talking to Brian Dunseth, MLS season pass match analyst, who's going to be on the call for SDFC this Saturday. And I know about soccer, but I'm new to the strategy of soccer, but I also want to understand what a player thinks. And when I left the home opener, they ended up finishing 0-0. I felt unfulfilled as a fan. As a player, when you leave that night, what do you feel? Do you feel unfulfilled? Do you feel like you guys did a good job? What is the feeling going through your head?
Yeah, it depends. You got 3 feelings, right? If you're outplayed the entire game and you tie the game and you get a point, you're like, man, that felt like a win, right? Man, that felt pretty good. If you tie the game in the manner in which they did against St. Louis, you're like, dude, we had the chances. We should have been more ruthless. And then finally, if it's just one of those games, you're just like, blah. Well, that sucked. Yeah. Man, that really was a waste of 90 minutes of everybody's time. No, listen, I think the one thing that we always love, I grew up in Southern California. I grew up in Upland, California, went to Cal State Fullerton. I grew up going to Surf Cup and, playing down in San Diego against USD and, playing against San Diego State. And so I'm acutely aware of the game itself and the legs that the culture has in San Diego. And the reality is, especially as an expansion team, there's a weird understanding, and this is something that is responsible for the individual player, because the coach and everybody can talk about it. But, these players, they have a responsibility to put on a show each and every game. And you only get one chance really to make that big splash. And I think when you look at what maybe Atlanta United did a few years ago, coming in and literally the crossover of playing in the Atlanta Falcons stadium, you had, the Heat down the street that weren't playing well. And all of a sudden, the crossover of the 40,000 to 70,000 fans that were inside the stadium was less than 5% from like Atlanta Falcons fans to soccer fans. So there's always going to be soccer fans available. But at the end of the day, people are going to have a curiosity, and that curiosity, you've got to make sure that you hook them, and you got to make sure that there's a way that they want to come back. They want to represent from a commercial aspect. They're buying tickets. They're on the apps. They're getting jerseys printed. And that is a responsibility that needs to be fulfilled by the style of play. And to your point, the excitement of going home and being like, dude, that's my team. These are my guys. I'm going to ride for them.
Yeah, really well done, Brian. I, got me a little more excited even than I previously was. Enjoyed talking with you about all this. Wish you a good call Saturday night out at Snapdragon. I know you're going to love the atmosphere because it was really something for the opener, and you know what to expect. And hopefully, it's a classic. 2-2, 3-2. Let's have one of those. Have some fun, and hopefully SDFC can keep it rolling. I think. For an expansion franchise, as you said, they're off to a flying start, and that's what you want. So, Brian,
and by the way, guys, I would love to, if you guys are at the game, come on through, man. I'd love to have you up in the booth. You can check it out from our perspective. Say hello face to face, and hopefully we got a lot of goals going in the right direction for San Diego home fans.
Very nice of you, Brian.
Know that you just opened it up for like 500 people to walk into the booth.
Oh, no, he's asking just you and I to go into the booth.
Us?
Yes, not everybody listening.
Man, this is embarrassing. Okay. I would love to meet you, Brian.
Come on up. And Theo Max Brados, my partner, will be the bodyguard. If there's
right.
So.
No.
All right. Thanks, Brian. Have a good one. And, we look forward to talking to you again down the road here as the season keeps going.
Absolutely, man. Looking forward to the next conversation.
Yes, sir. Good stuff. Brian Dunseth right there from MLS Season Pass. And, he's got nothing but compliments for this San Diego team. I mean, it's a great start. I know an expansion team, it's a little different in these days. I mean, after all, both Jacksonville Jaguars and Carolina Panthers went to the conference championship in their second seasons in the NFL. So
I remember that actually.
Yeah, there's really no reason anymore why expansion teams can't be successful right away. The Las Vegas hockey,
the Golden Knights,
or the Vegas Golden Knights, they went to the Stanley Cup Finals in, I think it was their first year.
I believe you're right.
Was it not?
I believe you're right.
Right. So SDFC, why not? Let's just keep this going. 7:30 Saturday night against Columbus Crew, and both teams come in with 2 wins and 1 draw. Got to say that correctly, Scrabe. Can't say tie. They don't like the word tie unless you're wearing it around your neck in a soccer setting.
Okay, I could do draw. Do you think I'll ever stop embarrassing myself on the radio?
Yeah, no, I don't. And that's why I like to bring you along with me.
But
because it keeps the attention off of me.
Where did I miss that he was inviting us to?
Yeah, he just said,
was talking about fans.
No, I just want to let you guys know, if you're there at the game, you guys come on up to the booth. He didn't mean every single person who's going to come to the game.
I thought he was just being an extremely generous guy.
That would be quite generous of him to let every single fan. First of all, I don't think he would have that kind of control of the actual press box.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, maybe there's something new I don't know about,
to allow everybody to come in. So
he was great.
He was good. I mean, first of all, his knowledge is off the charts. You can just tell.
I like how he said that we stunk about his team when he was with the expansion team.
And he also mentioned if it's a 0-0 game, sometimes you feel pretty good. Yeah. Sometimes you don't, but other times you feel like that was a waste of everybody's time.
That was a good answer.
It was. And you don't want, and he mentioned it, you don't want wastes of time at this point. You're trying to win new fans. You're trying to, increase, the excitement. And he said and he's right about this. A lot of people will go to one match to check it out.
Of course.
And if they walk out and say, well, that was a waste of time, then they're not going to come back.
I mean, I went to the 0-0 game. I didn't walk out thinking that was a waste of time.
I don't think that game was a waste of time. But what he's referring to is one of those matches where hardly anything, happens.
Yeah, I could see that,
Yeah, they can't afford that. All right, Aztecs are underway against Boise State. No Magoon Guath, at least not yet. He's on the bench. He's got a knee brace. He hasn't played yet. I don't think he's going to be playing. Boise State leads 12-11. 11 minutes to go in the first half. Gwynn and Chris, we got Veronica Sheffey, the MVP of the women's tournament, coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. More ahead. Stick around. And hour number 2 at Gwynn and Chris Ello, and Matt Scraby in our Odyssey Palace studios. Tony Gwynn Jr. just presided over a Padre disaster in spring training. Jason Adam allowed a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th, and then Nico Goodrum's error allowed the Royals to score the winning run. Kansas City 6, Padres 5. The spring of hell continues for the Padres, though it doesn't matter.
Thank you.
It doesn't matter.
People are talking out both sides of their mouth on this whole spring training thing.
I know, because it's been so bad that I think, people are like concerned it's going to carry over. So, you know what? I'm just going to flat out, when Tony comes on, I'm going to ask him if he's worried, just because I want to hear his absurd, like, are you kidding me? You know what his response is going to be?
You know what he's going to do?
He's going to get so mad.
He's going to be offended, because he was offended with me the other night when I was like bringing up stuff. He's like, are we really talking about this right now?
Yeah, right.
Tony, we are.
He doesn't even want to go there. Aztecs, Boise State. I got 19-17 Aztecs. 8 minutes to go in the first half. Magoon Guath not playing. He is in uniform with a knee brace, but doesn't look like he's going to be getting into that game. Here's the March Madness ticket. Thanks to the Aztec women's team, I was able to punch my ticket. I'm going to March Madness this year. Hopefully the men will be following, and I think they need this win today to clinch it.
Were the men in the building last night, or were they?
No.
Okay.
No, they didn't get in. They didn't get until 7 or so o'clock, which was right before our game started.
Yeah.
And no way, Brian Dutch, you're going to have them all sitting in an arena till 11 o'clock.
True.
The night before they have to play.
But if I remember correctly, the men's and women's teams are pretty close, because they practice around the same time, and they
practice right there in the same, in the same gym, the Jam Center at San Diego State. And so they follow each other in and out of practice. But when the season starts, I think it's a separate entity. It really is. I ran into Dutcher a couple of times this year, but you don't see them very often. Veronica Sheffey was the MVP of the women's tournament, and she's going to join us in about 10 minutes. So with that in mind, Scraby, we're going to kind of have to get right to today's Daily Gambit.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo!
If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. Katrina with a submission about spring training on the chat. She says, old theater adage, Chris. Poor final dress rehearsal means good opening night. Let's hope that translates to baseball.
All right. Well, we hope then that the Padres break a leg using the theater expression.
Yes, don't actually break a leg. Clay says, Scravy, Tony was offended because you're always talking about trading Cease. If you remember, your question involved the Yankees. Yes, it did. And Tony was a little upset for the question, but I will still ask them every single time. Quiz. All right, here we go. Results from last night. Aztecs and Wyoming. Wyoming 3.5-point favorites in this game. The Aztecs ended up winning 72-68. Chris and I both chose them. They win the bet as well. Then UNLV men were minus 12.5 on the spread over Air Force. We both chose UNLV. UNLV did win, but they only won by 9 points, so we lose that one.
They were also way behind in that game and were able to rally. Air Force had them on the ropes for a while.
All right. Stanford, 5.5-point favorite over Cal in Charlotte, North Carolina yesterday.
That's what you get for being in the ACC.
I chose Stanford. You chose Cal. Stanford won the game, but they did not win by enough. 78-73. I just missed out. Missed out.
Right, you did.
Georgia, 3.5-point favorites over Oklahoma. This is why I hate college basketball. Chris went with Oklahoma. I went with Georgia. Oklahoma wins outright 81-75.
Boomer Sooner. Boomer. Okay.
I mean, I saw Oklahoma play terribly games in a row, and all of a sudden they win.
Yeah.
Boston Celtics, 3-point favorites over OKC last night. You went Boston, I went OKC. OKC won by 6, 118.
It's really funny. I mean, Oklahoma City's had really, I think, the best team in the league all year. I know Cleveland has as good a record But Cleveland plays in the East, which is just not as good. Oklahoma City plays in the West. Oklahoma City is the number 1 power ranking team in the NBA. But I really don't think anyone thinks Oklahoma City is going to win the NBA championship. I think people think Boston's going to win. But there you have it last night. In Boston, Oklahoma City beats them.
I don't know. Joe Mazzulla will probably come up with some sort of philosopher thought.
Please save us all if Boston wins the NBA championship.
He
again.
will. He will actually ask for people to call him Socrates from now on.
Socrates?
Yes.
Okay.
Chris is watching the basketball game.
I am, and one of the Aztecs just missed a flying one-handed dunk, like badly.
And won.
But they got the ball back and scored, so it's all okay. Go ahead. Are you done?
I'm done.
All right, here we go for today. As you said, we both picked we got Boise State and the Aztecs men, which we picked yesterday.
Yes.
Boise State is favored by 1.5 in this game, and it went up to 2.5 overnight, which tells me that more people are betting on Boise State to win this game.
All right.
So we got the Aztecs. Later in the Big Ten, Purdue 10.5 over USC. I don't know what's going to happen here. I know that USC is not nearly as good as Purdue. I also know that USC had to go to double overtime last night to beat Rutgers. And I don't think Purdue was even playing. So that would seem like a huge advantage for Purdue. So I'll take them.
Yeah, you've convinced me.
I convinced you on that?
Yep.
I'm sorry to have convinced you.
No, it's okay, but you convinced me.
Mountain West, you'll have Colorado State 5.5 over Nevada. Colorado State is making a late run to get into the NCAA tournament here. They won at Boise State last week. They finished second in the conference. The Aztecs only finished fourth.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't have Colorado State in the tournament, but they, might be able to play their way in. They're favored by 5.5 over Steve Alford's club. Go ahead. Who you got?
I'm up first.
Nevada or Colorado State?
I'm going to go with my Rams.
Rammies, says Scraby. I'm going to go with Nevada because I kind of got to root a little again. Colorado State could take our space is why I'm worried. So I'm going to take Nevada there. Utah State is 8.5 over UNLV. The final game of the evening. Again, UNLV played yesterday. Utah State did not. But UNLV is on their home court. That's the one thing you've got in the Mountain West. The Aztecs have always been able to go in there in the tournament and beat them. But UNLV has already showed me what they can do on their home court. They beat the Aztecs last week. Oh, you know who I saw yesterday?
Who?
Or 2 days? I think it was yesterday.
Who?
He was standing right in front of me on crutches, and he wouldn't get out of my way.
Who?
Rish Wayne.
Rish Wayne.
The guy from UNLV who killed the Aztecs.
What the heck happened to him?
He got hurt in the next game.
Oh, man.
And so he was on crutches, and he's standing in a hallway, blocking the whole hallway, and he's looking at his phone, and I'm standing behind him, and I'm like, I didn't say anything for a second because I wanted to see if he'd move. He had no clue that I was there. And finally, I'm like, excuse me? And he barely got out of the way. Like one of those guys that doesn't move, you have to slip past them.
Well, he's Rish Wayne.
He's Rish Wayne. Stupid Rish Wayne, not only beating the Aztecs, but causing me personal problems.
All right, daily gripe. People who block hallways and have no...
And then they don't get out of the way.
Yeah, they have no manners for anyone.
Come on, Rish Wayne.
That's pretty upsetting.
Just because of that, I'm taking UNLV anyway. On their home court, plus 8.5.
I'm going to go Utah State.
Utah State. All right, we got a good NBA game tonight. The Bucks and the Lakers. The Lakers are obviously in struggle sauce right now without Luka. Or without LeBron. They got Luka. Bucks are favored by 7 as a result here. Who do you like?
Bucks.
Bucks?
Yeah.
Not feeling the Lakers here.
Nah.
I'm gonna take the Lakers because JJ Redick ripped them a new one after that last game. I'm going on the Mick Cronin theory that the Lakers realize they've been delusional here.
Tony said the other day that he is surprised at how much he likes JJ Redick as head coach. I think JJ Redick's done a good job too.
Well, we'll find out if his rip job works.
Please
tonight.
don't say that again.
Okay. Luka -3 points versus Giannis in this game. So you get Giannis plus 3 points, or you get Luka. That's a tough one. The reason Luka's so favored here is because the Lakers don't have anybody else.
Yeah.
Luka's got to score all
and
the
he
points.
shoots like 150
He
times a
does.
game.
He does. I'm gonna take Giannis, though, man. He just cranks it up. With no LeBron in there, I think Giannis runs wild. I'll take Giannis.
I'll take Giannis too. Also,
Plus,
you have to ask Tony when we get him on the show how he feels about Luka complaining to the referees.
Okay.
Because he was going off about it. He's like, it is so annoying.
I told him, did I
said
not?
That. I said that.
I did. I said, man, Luka is a whiner.
Everything.
And it suits him poorly because when you're such a great player, you don't need to whine.
It's true.
Just move on to the next play.
And you'll figure it out.
And Luka cannot do that. All right, there's our picks. Let's make way for Veronica Sheffey to join us shortly. MVP of the Mountain West Conference Women's Tournament. One of the greatest basketball games you're ever going to see last night as they beat Wyoming in triple OT to win the championship. She's on next. The men are ahead by 6 late in the first half over Boise State. Gwynn and Chris continues.
Hey, everyone. Tony Gwynn.
All right, welcome back to the program. 3:17 is the time. Chris Ello, Matt Scraby, together in our Odyssey Palace studios. We should have Tony with us soon from Peoria, where the Padres, they didn't play in Peoria today. They played across at Surprise. And surprise, they gave up 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th and lost to the Royals 6-5. Last night was a game that took on a life of its own. And if you saw it, you'll probably not soon forget it. And if you didn't see it and you saw the score, you'd be like, man, I wish I'd seen that game. Well, I saw it, and it was something. The Aztec women beat Wyoming to win the championship, 72-68. One of the heroes and the tournament MVP, Veronica Sheffey from the Aztecs, nice enough to join us here on 97.3 The Fan. Veronica, it is the next afternoon. I've been to sleep. I've taken a nap. I'm still worn out after that game. How are you holding up?
Yeah, I'm good. I am, I am a little bit tired. I will say that, but it's been really nice just to soak it all in with the team and, coming back here to the school and just being greeted by everybody, congratulating us. It's really something special. So it's definitely something I'll never forget.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are going to forget that one. And you played 51 minutes in this game. I don't even know you were aware of that. And at the very end, the Aztecs are leading by 2, and you go to the free throw line, and you got 2 free throws to basically clinch it after everything that had happened, and you made them both. But how do you make those? Honestly, I mean, I'd be so nervous. I think the ball would just fall out of my hands, honestly.
No, it was just, walking into the moment. I knew if we secured those 2 free throws, it would give us a good chance of them not being able to come down the floor and you make a play. So we would go up by 4. So, one of the previous times I went up there, I missed the first one and then made the second one. But I knew I had to knock those 2 down. So just staying locked in into, what we really wanted. I think everyone just really wanted to win really, really bad. And I think we just wanted it more than the other team. So that's just really what it came down to, and just staying locked into that mindset. So.
And before Scraby jumps in, I want to ask you one more thing, because at the very end of the game, when the final buzzer sounded, the ball was in your hands. And I think that's where it belonged. What was the first reaction, or can you even remember what your first thought was when you flung that ball finally to the sky?
I couldn't even tell you what it was. It was just, I don't know. It was unbelief and just overwhelming joy, and just, I really don't have any words for it. I'm still I don't even think it's real still right now. So it's definitely just crazy and something super, super special. So.
Yeah.
That's extremely special. We're talking to Veronica Sheffey here, Aztecs women's basketball player, and she won the 2025 Mountain West Tournament MVP. I want to ask one more question about the game, because when I was listening to Chris last night, I was tired when you guys were going into the third overtime. Like, honestly, how do you play so many days in a row and then find more energy to play in a third overtime in a championship game?
Yeah, going into the game, we knew it was going to be, a fight all the way into the end. But, I didn't think we would go into 3 overtimes, that's for sure. But I think after every overtime, we were like, all right, gather together, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. So just repeating that and us coming together. We all knew we were tired, but, hey, if this is what it takes, then we got to do it. So, and we got it done. So.
Veronica Sheffey is with us, and being around this team, Veronica, the one thing I've noticed, and look, I've been around a lot of these teams. This one gets along as well, if not better, than any team I've ever been around. And the one thing, everybody cheers for each other. Everybody's got one of these bracelets, which I'm wearing right now, by the way, that says "We over me," and you guys have bought into that. And everybody supports everyone. No one cares who gets the credit. There have been games where you've been on the bench in the fourth quarter and someone else has kind of taken over the game. It just works out with this team. You guys all, I don't want to love each other. I really feel that. And it was so special to see. Talk a little bit about your relationship with your teammates.
Like you say, it's just everyone gets along really well, and it's not like we're divided, and I think everyone can see that as we're on the floor. We all work really well together, and just even starting from the summer working out together, everyone just complemented each other super well. And I think we've been able to grow on that and our strengths over the months coming. And, I think we're okay. Everyone's okay. If they're not their night to score, then that's all right. If it's someone else's night, then that's okay too. So I think just keeping that mindset and, staying together, playing together, it's going to turn out for the better of the whole group. So that's what happened.
Talking to Veronica Sheffey, she won the Mountain West Tournament MVP last night for the Aztecs women's basketball team, and you're headed to the NCAA Tournament now. I mean, has that you said that things are still trying to sink in and you're still trying to make sense of it, but what does that mean to you?
I mean, it means everything. Just being able to go to the dance has been a dream come true, ever since I was little. And so I think being able to do that with this kind of team that we have, it's everything. And, I just want to give a shout out to Callie as well. Like, she played an amazing game.
Oh, yeah.
And I think her, fight and her spirit during the whole game regarding, the player of the year, I think it motivated everybody to take it up a notch and, step up to the plate and make a play when it needed to be made. So I think we're all super excited. The job's not done. We still got more to play. So we're all going to be watching and waiting to see who we play next, and we're going to get ready for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Veronica Sheffey is with us now. You had a new career high last night with 24 points. The reason I bring this up is your previous career high was 23. You know who that was against?
Yes, I do.
It was against San Diego State when you played at USD. And that was last year with the Toreros. I remember that game, and you torched us pretty good. Did the Aztecs come after you? Did you go after the Aztecs when the transfer portal happened? Because I imagine Stacey Terry and everybody else said, we got to get her on our side.
Yeah, they did. Going to the transfer portal, I wasn't really sure where I wanted to be and what the next, chapter was going to look like. But they did reach out to me. I wasn't sure still because I think my mind was set as just getting out of the area that I was in and just kind of, finding something new. But after kind of a couple weeks going by, I did take a visit here and I got to talk with the coaches and things like that. And I think it was just a really good fit. They had already gone to the championship and they were already hungry for that for this upcoming year. And I just really liked the mindset that they had and the way they ran their team. And I got to meet some of the girls too. So I think it just turned out to be a really good fit. And the coaches were super gracious to me and trusted and believed in me to, give me this opportunity. So it worked out perfectly.
Last one for me, Veronica. We talked to Adriana Quezada a couple weeks ago, and I asked about her video game playing and what she does outside of basketball. So I don't know that you play video games, but what's something that you do outside of basketball just to kind of take your mind off of things?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I like to do. I do have a hair business that I do on the side, so I'm really into hair and just hairstyling for other people as well, and so that takes up of my time. And then, I also like to just create videos and like cinematography videos. I'm really getting into that too. So
awesome.
Those are two things I'd probably say, but I like to dip my toe in a couple different things. So
sounds like it. I mean, you already got your own business. I think you're one of many on that team with their own businesses.
I tell these guys all the time that this is a bunch of sharp kids, and every time we have one of you guys on, everybody knows what I'm talking about. Last thing, Veronica, we appreciate the time, and I've talked to you about your dad, your brother, both played football, college football at Washington. What was their reaction after the game last night? And did they help you kind of get interested and excited about athletics when you were younger? And what does that mean to share this with them?
Yeah, this means the world. My family is everything to me, and I'm super close to my family. And so they weren't at the tournament this whole time because they were with my younger siblings, had their state tournaments this past weekend. So it was a busy week for them. But they made it happen and got everybody out here for this one game. And
wow.
I was super happy that they were there and just seeing them on the court after the game. It was everything. And, my brother, he's the reason I play the sport. I just grew up watching him being in the gym all the time. And so just to be able to share that moment with him, we've been talking about this ever since we were young. And my mom and my dad both coached me. And so even my sister too, she played with me for a little bit as well. So it's just everyone was able to experience this, we all be able to experience it together. So it was really special.
Well, the best thing about winning last night is that this team gets to stay together for another couple of weeks at least. And, that's a great thing. And we're excited for you and, look forward to Sunday and find out where you play and then get back to work. But what a performance you and the team turned in last night. Veronica Sheffey, thanks so much for your time. We'll see you soon.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
You betcha. All right, there she goes. Veronica Sheffey, the MVP of the Mountain West Conference Tournament for the ladies, a career-high 24 points in the championship game. We didn't talk with her about this part of her game, but she's the best on-ball, man-for-man defender in the conference. So not only does she lead you in scoring, not only is she your point guard who's passing the ball around, but she's your best defensive player. And she guards the other team's best offensive player. And
I didn't quite catch.
She's a hell of an all-around player.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch who she said was motivating for them last night, guarding the player of the year.
Yeah, she didn't guard her because the player of the year is a 6'4" center for Wyoming who was defended by Callie Clark, who Veronica mentioned. Callie Clark had an incredible game defending against the Wyoming center, and that was one of the keys.
Don't worry, everyone. We still got Chris play-by-play clips that I clipped, and we will be using them before the end of the show.
All right. We relived some of the excitement of that game. They're at halftime now, the Mountain West game, quarterfinal. The Aztec men lead Boise State 33-28. This is ridiculous to me. Boise State has tried 29 shots in this game. 23 of them have been three-pointers.
Oh, this game's not in trouble at all, Chris.
It's only a 5-point lead for the Aztecs. And no, there has
That's
not
ridiculous, by the way.
Isn't that ridiculous? 29 attempts, 23 threes. That's all they're basically doing. So there hasn't been any Magoon Gwath sighting as of yet, and kind of doubting that there will be. More Gwynn and Chris ahead. Tony should be with us soon. Stick around. We're here till 6.
Coming up on Friday.
interview there with the Mountain West Conference Tournament MVP, Veronica Sheffey. She got quite a nice trophy for that as well, Scrade. Just really a little nicer than her trophy that she was given for that award.
I also saw you carrying the trophy. How heavy is that thing?
25 or so.
Wow.
Really heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that.
You have to buy it a seat on the way home on the plane?
I don't know that they did, but I didn't ride home with the kids. I went home on an earlier flight today because I couldn't wait to get back and see you. So I didn't ride back with them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Gwynn and Chris here. Tony should be with us soon. We're keeping a close eye on this Aztec Boise State game. And, Boise State is just shooting nothing but threes. I mean, they've taken 29 shots and 23 of them are from the arc. They've made 7, so only 30%. Aztecs lead by 5 starting the second half just now. 33-28 is the score there. We're going to get a little 30-mile zone action coming up. The Padres... Oh, goodness. Spring training has just been like, it can't be over soon enough for the Padres. They led 5-2 today over the Royals, bottom of the 9th. Jason Adam. Is there anybody more reliable than Jason Adam? He gave up a 3-run homer. And then right after that, Nico Goodrum threw away the game. 4-run 9th, Royals 6, Padres 5. It does not wipe out a good outing for Yu Darvish, 4 innings, 1 run. Good outing for Stephen Kolek, 4 innings, 1 run.
We'll take that.
Yeah, we got to try to find a bright side to a 5-14 record in spring training for the Padres. We have a little traffic.
Yes.
Let me also remind you, 5:30 we'll have, or do we still have the biggest fan? I shouldn't promote
yes, we do.
I don't know.
We do.
Okay, 5:30, biggest fan. Stick around for that. Right now, traffic check, and then we'll go to the 30-mile zone.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by San Diego Football Club. Well, after this morning's chaotic commute, how nice to have a reprieve from all of that. Yeah, the rain has pretty much moved on. Might still see some scattered showers around parts of the county. And we've still got some slick roadways and flooding around various parts. So definitely need to take that into consideration. Be extra careful out there on the roads. We'll get this one accident, westbound 52, right at the 5. It's over to the right shoulder. It's football season. San Diego FC's inaugural campaign is officially underway at Snapdragon Stadium. Don't miss the next match Saturday, March 15th, as SDFC takes on reigning League's Cup champion Columbus Crew. Visit sandiegofc.com/tickets to secure your seats today. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
If you don't know your sports gossip, can you really call yourself a sports fan? It's time to bring together sports and celebrity gossip. We call it the 30-mile zone. Mainly so we don't get sued by the real company. On 97.3 The Fan.
We got some pretty heartwarming stories, fun stories. Maybe not heartwarming, but fun stories. We also have a bad story.
We have a heartwarming like a dog reunited with his master?
No, but those...
something like that?
There's only a few things that make me cry on the spot,
Is
Chris.
that one of them?
Dogs in wheelchairs.
Hey, you give me a hard time because I, tear up after a great victory. And, so I'm glad I finally found your soft spot.
It's, dogs in wheelchairs. When dad or mom surprise their kids after being away with the military. And then also dogs being reunited with their owners.
Okay.
I saw a cat being reunited with their owner the other day from the LA fires. They finally found the cat. It teared my eye.
Teared you up.
Couldn't do it.
Did you have a tear earlier today when I told you Kylie ran down the stairs to greet me when I got home after 4 days? Or
no, I just figured that was the
really
case.
Count.
I just figured that was the case.
Okay.
So we didn't really need to deal with it.
Gotcha.
All right. So let's start with an NBA prank, Chris. And I'm going to ask you to go to your screen real quick because I'm going to be playing a video.
Okay. You got me doing 2 things at once here, but go ahead.
Okay. So this is Stefan Castle, and his teammates pranked him after the game last night And they put it on video. I'm not going to play the audio because there's kind of some swear words, but you can see the video. They're going up to his car. They're all giving him a hard time. They're all laughing. And he's like, what's going on? What's going on? They took all of his tires off.
What?
They took all of his tires off.
Oh, my goodness.
He has no tires.
Look at the look on his face. He's like, wow.
He has no tires.
Which team is that?
The Spurs.
Okay, he plays for the Spurs.
Yes,
yeah.
and so it's just really funny because they all walk out there with him, like,
right. And
hey, we're gonna all see this.
What's going on here? Yeah, and he's like protecting his car, and then he walks up and he's like,
"There's no tires.
There are no tires."
It's really funny.
They are all gone. There's a little note on there that done the video that says, "Damn Rook."
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah.
Now
that's cold-blooded right there. Now, what did they do? Did they give him? Do we know?
Oh, this was after the game. I mean, I'm sure they put the tires back on.
Well, who? I don't know. Did Victor Wembanyama climb down there and put him back on, or?
You know what? I don't really know because I didn't care what happened after. I just cared what happened during. But he took it in stride, I will say. Now, there are people on the internet that think this is bullying and think this is mean and all that stuff.
Okay.
It's not. It is team building. And if I'm the Spurs and I see this, I like this because these guys seem to like each other.
Well, it's your welcome to the NBA moment.
Yeah.
I think. And it's not like they're not going to give the tires back, like you said. But this is cold-blooded. But I will want to say one more thing. Stephon Castle played at UConn. And he destroyed us the last 2 years in the tournament. So
it's karma.
Couldn't happen to a better guy as far as I'm concerned.
It's karma?
No. He's a really good player. He's in the hunt for Rookie of the Year. Boise State, by the way, just went on a run. So they're ahead of the Aztecs now. 35-33 early in the second half. Yeah, I agree with you, Scraby.
It's not me.
This is your welcome to the NBA moment.
Yeah,
that's all that is.
I think this is more acceptable than making them pay $75,000 for a dinner.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least they're going to put his
bullying.
At least they're going to put his tires back on.
Yes.
And he'll drive away, and it's kind of a funny thing. That's all that is.
Yes.
You're right. When they go $75,000, I mean, I'm talking 100 rookie dinners for football players. $200,000, $150,000.
De'Aaron Fox, who had just kind of joined the Spurs at the trade deadline, they asked him about whether or not Steph Castle deserved this treatment, and he said, quote, "Yeah, something needed to happen." I'm like, does he bring anything to the plane? Does he bring food, snacks, donuts? I'm like, at least he could pass shoes out for you, but no, he deserves it for sure.
All right. See, rookies, yeah. Yeah, rookies have it tough, but at that level, they can afford to have it tough.
Yeah.
I say.
All right, let's go to a very sad breakup, Chris.
Oh, boy, you're going from fun to sad.
Supposed breakup. And
okay.
I think you're going to catch on that I'm being sarcastic right now. But Hannah Cavender has hinted that she has broken up with Carson Beck.
She's had it, huh?
She's done, apparently.
That's it with Mr. Beck.
She unfollowed him and took off all of the photos of him on her Instagram. So that's gone. There's one thing that I won't get, Chris. Why go back and delete all the photos? That takes so long to do. I don't understand it. If you don't like it, I don't know. It sounds like
I'm going to tell you what it sounds like, and you ladies out there can back me up or disagree
cheated
with me. Yeah. Sounds like a woman scorned to me, Greg. No, it really does. I'm not trying to joke around. I mean, it sounds like somebody who really got, pretty upset, not got their feelings hurt, but more than that, like, yeah, I'm going to guess like he cheated on her, something like that. She found out about it. And she wants no part of him ever again, which is why you would take the time to go back and rip pictures out of a book, or in this case, delete them from a phone.
Or dig her key into his car.
Yeah.
Pretty little Ford or whatever.
Louisville Slugger to the headlights.
Both headlights.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I that's what I'm being honest. That's what it sounds like to me. Either that or she's a tad psycho.
You are spot on, Chris, because the rumors are that Carson Beck was caught messaging another woman on Snapchat.
Yep.
And Hannah Cavender's twin sister,
right,
Haley liked the post that was all about how Carson Beck was caught Snapchatting another woman.
Yeah.
So you were right, Chris.
Okay.
I think this is how it's going to go.
Well, I'm going to say Carson Beck. You deserve every bit of it. Then.
I agree.
Every bit of it, my
You're
friend.
being shady. What is it? You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes.
You mess with the bull, you get the horns.
I can't. I wish I had another one. I would keep going, but I don't.
Okay.
All right, next one. Eminem says, "You can't have the W in the D without me." Do you know what that means?
Whew. You're really testing me here.
It's not what you think.
I'm doing my best to keep up with all this stuff. I really am. I asked the ladies on the basketball team to help me with some of this stuff sometimes, but yeah, you got me on that one, Scrape.
He says that you cannot have a WNBA franchise in Detroit without him. The W.
Okay.
And the D. He is very interested in joining a crew of people that are trying to get an expansion team to Detroit in the WNBA.
Well, look, Eminem is basically
he's royalty.
He's royal. Thank you. He's royalty in Detroit, as he should, as well. He should, you know, and they'll probably call the team Mom Spaghetti.
That you have to.
You know, that's the name of what, his company or something.
He has like a pop-up or what do they call flash restaurants or something?
Right. Yeah.
He has one called Mom Spaghetti.
I think that's
amazing.
one of his greatest lines. I know that he has a million lines, but you know,
definitely one that people remember because it's so random.
Thrown up already, Mom Spaghetti. I mean, that's so good.
Nervous.
Yeah, nervous. Yeah, right.
Yeah, anyway.
But so yeah. Here's the big question, and I hope Eminem does this. And I'm rooting for the continued growth of the WNBA.
Yeah.
So, but this is not off that subject, but what do you think about Angel Reese coming out last week and saying, "We don't get our money, we ain't playing"? Did you see that?
There's a lot of people in passing.
Okay, there's a lot of people who think that she's not reading the room very well. And then there's a lot of people who say, no, these women deserve more money. They're starting to get a lot more attention. I think the ratings are going up. The people who think Angel Reese is being tone deaf are the ones who say, yes, but WNBA teams still don't make money.
If they don't make money, then how can you? Because I think she's speaking for a lot of people.
But they're owned by NBA owners, most of these teams. So these owners have money coming out of their ears. I mean, Caitlin Clark's making $80,000 base salary. I know she gets a lot more, but $80,000 is nothing for somebody that has brought the kind of attention she has to the league. I don't know. I mean, I see the tone deaf argument, but I also see where Angel Reese is coming from here. It's time to pay up a little bit.
And hey, if she wants to be the face of this and I'm in the WNBA and it ends up in me getting more money, then hey, go for it, Angel Reese. I'm all about that.
I don't know. I will say this. I don't think the WNBA is in a position where they can afford some sort of lockout or work stoppage. I don't think so
either. I don't think so
for that league. So
all right,
keep an eye on that.
Let's go to this one. I'm gonna have to put the video up, but it's gonna take me a second, so I'll explain. But have you seen this whole big brawl that happened at a high school basketball game?
Yep, with the referee,
Pennsylvania. Yeah, it was crazy.
It's almost hard. It's almost hard to see it all. But yes, the coach throws a basketball at the head of the ref, and then fans start pelting the ref. Basically,
yes. And seven people charged for the brawl at the game, and it was pretty crazy. I can't put the video up because it's a TMZ video, so I'm sorry about that. But if you want to go and see this video, it's Uniontown basketball. But the official said out of the 7, 3 were 16 years old, 2 from Medville, and 1 from Uniontown. They were all charged with 1 count of disorderly conduct. The other 4 included 44-year-old Reginald Grooms from Uniontown, who was charged with 1 count of simple assault, 1 count of harassment, and 1 count of disorderly conduct. Another Uniontown man, Notorious Grooms, that's his name, Chris, Notorious Grooms, was charged with 1 count of disorderly conduct. This is a bad look. It is terrible that the ref is getting pelted, and it's scary that all of a sudden you could be watching a high school basketball game, Chris, and all of a sudden a brawl breaks out, and you're caught in the middle of it.
You know, my feeling on this is
what?
Make better calls. No,
you're saying that you want the ref to get a ball thrown at his head.
That's right. Make better calls, ref. Come on. No, of course. This scares the hell out of me every time I go into a high school gym. Unfortunately, that if I make a bad call, somebody's going to lose it. I will say this: they can charge all of those people with disorderly conduct or mayhem or whatever they're doing. The coach ought to be locked up and thrown away, though. I mean, you're the coach, you're the head, you're supposed to be a leader of young men,
young men,
and you're acting that way. Please, that's the part that really bothers me. Parents, I already know you're idiots, but the coaches, I expect a little more.
You have to be on another level of good when situations like that break out.
So that's my thing on that. But I did see the video. It is pretty. It's amazing.
Let's get into the tough stuff, Chris.
Oh, there's more. Okay.
Yeah, a woman who alleged Xavier Worthy roughed her up last week, Xavier Worthy of the Chiefs, has now gotten a temporary protective order. A Williamson County, Texas court official tells them that she requested the order on Wednesday and a judge granted it to her. Now, he wasn't actually booked in this matter, or not booked, I'm sorry, charged. On Sunday, the district attorney's office stated that it was declining the case following a further investigation into the matter. So he's 21. NFL is going to have to look into this. He plays for
the right franchise.
I was just going to say, I hate to make this a team thing.
Yeah, Chiefs aren't going to do anything about it. We know that. I mean, let's be honest. The Chiefs let anybody play for the franchise. Sorry, but it's true.
Yeah.
Right? How else am I supposed to react? I mean, they have.
Okay, that's how I reacted.
Who's their running back?
Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. Who's their wide receiver? The kid that got hurt this year.
Oh, Rashee Rice.
After mayhem with his car.
Yes.
Who's their coach? And the things that happen around him. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm not on Facebook.
I shouldn't.
My first thought being he's a Chief. This is
I should probably take back the Andy Reid thing. Andy Reid seems like a pretty straight guy, but the people around him and his family, it's been kind of a struggle. Let's be honest. I don't know what to think in this case yet, because at first he was charged and arrested. Then they said he wasn't charged, and now they're saying they're looking into it because he might be. What? So what is it? Did he potentially strangle her? Or try to strangle her, or did she beat the crap out of him and he was defending himself? I don't know that we're ever going to know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
but the bottom line is, here's another Chief player, a young kid that's embroiled in this kind of stuff. It's getting a little old, and it seems like it follows the Chiefs wherever they go.
Well, here's what his attorney said. Xavier Worthy's attorney. Mr. Worthy had hoped that he would have a long-term relationship with Ms. Jones when he proposed months ago. It is a sad commentary that after she has been asked to leave his residence on multiple occasions, that she refused to leave and now continues to make false allegations and defamatory statements to extort him.
Yeah, I know.
Which could happen.
Right? If that's true, then Xavier Worthy is a complete innocent bystander to a woman's crazy behavior.
Remember LaShawn McCoy? All that stuff that came out about him abusing his kid, and then it ended up that he actually didn't do it. Like, stuff like this does happen, and
I know.
I can't
really
be on either side anymore.
No, you shouldn't be.
So,
and the funny thing is you can sit here and say, well, let's wait till the facts come out. Guess what? They're never going to come out. They just aren't. She's going to say what she says. He's going to say what he says. And the court of public opinion will have to,
and they'll settle and
figure it out.
Last one.
Okay.
Kim Kardashian.
Hey, Kimmy.
I don't know why she
always love a show with a mention of Kim K.
I don't.
Why not?
I'm not a big Kardashian fan, Chris.
All right.
But she is throwing her former husband, Chris Humphries, under the bus.
Yeah, I saw this.
He only partially paid for her lavish engagement ring and then took it back after the divorce. When you're married for like 35 days, I think you can take an engagement ring back after the divorce, or the wedding ring back. What do you or 72 days is how long they were married. I think you can ask for that back after 72 days. However, did he actually expect this marriage to last forever?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did?
No, I mean, yeah, like, that's a fair question.
Okay.
1/5 of the ring, which means it's worth what? $500,000, and all he came up with was $100,000. But you know what I mean?
I do.
I mean, Kim, come on.
Oh yeah, Kim has the money for this ring.
She could handle it. Number one. Number two, the fact that she would demand a ring that extraordinarily expensive speaks to her character.
Yes, I had a friend actually, Chris. I'm not kidding. In college, proposed to his fiance. She said that weeks later she wasn't happy with her ring. He broke up with her.
Well, as it should be. Kim Kardashian's character has to be called into question too. She married Kanye, please.
Okay. Chris, there's some fans next. 833-288-0973.
Trying to do a radio show while an Aztec basketball game is going right down to the wire, nip and tuck.
Yeah, I'm feeling this.
It's really tough.
During the end of 30 Mile Zone, I was like,
I know.
Chris, and I see him looking at the
I know.
TV.
I'm just watching the game. Boise State leads 45-44. Still 12 minutes to go in Las Vegas. Aztecs are without Magoon Guath once again. Boise State is shooting nothing but three-point shots. They've taken 31 threes in this game. Fortunately, they've made only 9 of them. Nick Boyd is single-handedly keeping the Aztecs in. He's hit 3 3-pointers in the second half alone and has 15 points right now. Boise State has the lead by 1. Oh, Scraby, telling you what. Padres lost to the Royals 6-5 today. It's spring training. Tony Gwynn joins us in the next segment from Peoria. And Scraby will ask him whether this loss means anything.
No, you're going to ask him. I already asked him this week.
You already tried that question?
I already got the bite.
You got the wrath of Tony
Yes.
for that?
Yeah, I already got it.
Jason Adam coughed up a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th today as the Royals rallied to beat the Friars. San Diego State's women's team basking in the glow of their incredible 3-overtime championship win last night over Wyoming. And Veronica Sheffey was on with us a little earlier to discuss that incredible game. All right. Speaking of incredible games, Scraby, we need some callers, right? Do we need some contestants?
Yeah,
it's time for Chris versus the fans. If you've never played, this would be a hell of a good time to call in because there's some phone lines open, 833-288-0973. Play Chris versus the fans, win the little trivia contest. You might go to Las Vegas and see Scraby's pal, Alanis Morissette.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. The rules. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get the question wrong, Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. I also have to add this from now on, Chris.
Okay.
If you have already played this week, you cannot play again.
All right.
How are you with that rule? Because I just kind of blanketed it.
You just make it up, or
I did.
All right.
I did.
Well, you run the show. I mean, you're the what's his name? Goodman and Todson of this program. They were the producers of a million game shows back in the day.
Goodman and Todson.
Something like that.
A Goodman and Todson reference here on 97.3 The Fan.
I think I got their names wrong, too.
It's okay.
They were big game show producers back in the day.
All right. Did I already say first time playa? No, I didn't. If you're a first time playa, let us know before you get into it. You'll get that question for free. You are playing for 2 tickets to Alanis Morissette at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace on October 24th. 2-night hotel stay October 23rd through the 25th at Flamingo Hotel and Casino, and a $100 gas card. Keep in mind, we still have those SDFC tickets to give away as well.
And if you have to repeat the question, understand that I'm actually watching the game right now. Go ahead.
This is how it's going to be the rest of the show,
it's
everybody.
At least for the next half hour here until this game is decided. It's still tied up or something. Oh, God. 8 minutes to go. All right.
Hello, Joe. You're our first contestant.
All right. What's up, fellas?
Nothing, man. Good to have you
All
on.
right, Chris, go ahead and watch the game, especially on question if I get to question number 3.
You got it, man. I will.
All right, Joe. Here we go. Question number 1. Let's see. What is the no, let me start this over. Which AL East ace is expected to miss the entire 2025 season after it was announced he would need Tommy John surgery?
Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole is correct. All right, here we go. Question number 2. When the Cleveland Browns relocated after the 1995 season, what city did they move to?
Baltimore?
Baltimore
very
is
good.
correct.
Yeah, the Baltimore Ravens, where the whole Cleveland Browns team moved there. And the funny thing is all of the Browns records stayed in Cleveland. And Baltimore started as the team records.
I know.
But you know what I mean?
What records?
Like passing yardage.
Yes,
Jim Brown had a lot of yardage records in Cleveland.
Oh, okay. Jim Brown.
So Jim Brown did not become – his records do not appear in the Baltimore Ravens media guide.
Totally makes sense to me.
Yeah. He
Totally
stays
makes
with
sense.
Cleveland, even though it's kind of confusing.
Yeah,
in that regard.
that
You know
totally
what I mean?
makes sense.
Okay.
All right, Joe. You get this one right or Chris gets it wrong, and you are qualified for this Alanis Morissette trip. What state was Magoon Gwath born in?
What?
Chris, you watching? You watching the game?
He's watching.
Yeah, I didn't
watching.
even hear the question, so don't worry.
Florida.
Stay there. There's only 49 other states Chris can choose.
Yeah, I don't know where he's from. So
You don't?
No, I don't. I don't memorize hometowns of everybody. New York. I don't know. Hey,
Wow,
Joe, you're a winner.
You are the winner. You're gonna have to stay on hold, Joe.
Good job, Joe.
He's from Texas.
How do I know?
Because you follow the team. Even I know that.
Does he have like a southern twang?
I don't think so.
I don't
but
either.
I actually don't think I've ever heard him speak, but
I haven't really heard Magoon talk all that much either. I really didn't know where he was from. So
Texas.
I apologize to everyone who thought I should know that, but I'm not apologizing to Joe because he's happy that I did not know that.
Yeah, Joe's very happy.
He wins the game today.
Yes.
And he qualifies for the Alanis Morissette. I told you my mind would not be in the game today, but I really didn't know that question. So you got me.
It's all good.
What can I tell you?
It's all good,
gives
bro.
us time for a couple of NFL notes. And I've been looking forward to your response to this.
Okay.
Before I get to that, Gardner Minshew, Chiefs.
Yep.
Going to back up Patrick Mahomes. Nice knowing you, Gardner. I mean, how many games is he going to play?
The one at the end of the year
Right.
when they don't need
When they lose 37-0 to the Broncos.
Yes.
By the way, was that the end for Carson Wentz, or does he get another chance somewhere? He looks so bad in that game.
I think he gets a chance because it seems like you can be hired for the rest of your life as long as you can throw a football.
And they give you a lot of money. They give you a lot of money.
It's like, do you really want to play? Here's $1 million. Okay, we'll go sign this guy.
Okay, the Minshew was making 2 years, $25 million with the Raiders. He was making $12.5 million a year to basically kind of play.
Wow.
So the Chiefs, 1-year deal, probably going to be $6-7 million at least, just to sit there.
I guess you are one of the top 64 quarterbacks in the world.
Okay, I'll give you that. Raiders don't replace Minshew, but they do get a running back. Fumble happy Raheem Mostert, formerly of your team, formerly of my team. Now a Raiders get him. Dolphins replace him by signing Alexander Madison, former Viking.
Oh, man.
And Raider.
Yep.
So basically they just traded Mostert for Madison.
Yeah. Great trade.
Right. I mean, that's all it is. All right. So, but here's the one I want to know about.
Oh, gosh.
49ers last night reach a deal with Mac Jones.
No, he is not going to be the starter. Brock Purdy is still the starter.
I don't care who the starter is. I just want to know, how happy are you to have acquired Mac Jones?
Mac Jones.
Yeah. You get Mac Jones. You're giving him $6 million, $5 million, something like that.
This was
you happy about this signing?
Don't
Super
care
Bowl
about
type?
it at all.
You're going to care about it when somebody knocks Brock Purdy out of a game.
I think at
then
least
you'll care about it.
Well, number one, I think it's funny that finally Kyle Shanahan got his guy, because there's so many rumors that he was going to be drafted number 3 overall.
Oh, so he loves Mac Jones, apparently.
He does. But
can he please tell us what he likes about Mac Jones? Because Mac Jones pretty much stinks.
Yeah.
Right?
He had the rookie year, and that was it.
Yeah.
The whole 49er thing, Chris.
There's the tall Texan. They just showed him on TV.
Yes.
Magoon Guath, yeah.
I will say this about the 49ers. I have calmed down a little bit about their mass exodus.
Right.
And I think they made the right choices. You have to, I think it was you who said that Ian Rappaport said that teams need to make difficult decisions on aging stars.
Yes, they do.
And that's what they did. And so now we go forward. I trust John Lynch.
I'm happy that you trust John Lynch. Yeah, the 49ers are going to still be in contention, but even if they're not going to go any lower. They're in last place already last year. You're a last place franchise, Scrape.
I realize that.
Just want you to understand that.
Last year, I don't even know how they let it get this bad, contract wise. They put all the eggs in the basket last year, and it did not work at all. 6-11 last year.
Aztecs are just so frustrating to watch. They get a reach-in foul 50 feet from the basket. Why? Why? You're just handing them 2 points.
You ready to go to break?
Brian Dutcher is going to not make it through this season. Yes.
What do you mean? They're going to fire him?
No, he's going to mentally collapse from exhaustion watching these guys play. 47-47 in Vegas. 7 minutes left. More Gwynn and Chris with Tony joining the program next.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center.
Keen is the time. Chris Ello. Scraby, we're here in the Odyssey Palace studios. Tony Gwynn Jr. joins us now from spring training, Peoria, Arizona. Good to have you. Tony, good to talk to you, man. It's been a little while. You had your nice soccer trip there to Florida. And then you and I just didn't connect the last couple of days. How are things, my friend?
Things are well. But let's talk about you, my friend. I mean,
okay.
You finally, I mean, I saw you up there cutting down nets. It was that I was so excited for you, man. That was an unbelievable game.
Yeah, it was.
Down the stretch. I picked it up with about halfway, not even halfway, about a little bit into the third.
Yeah.
And I picked it up right as the defensive just juggernauts on both sides wouldn't let any baskets get in the bucket.
No, nobody could score. Nobody could score.
No one could score.
It was so
but they
tense.
willed their way to a win, man. That was it was awesome to watch the ladies find a way to get it done.
Yeah, and you'd be proud of me, Tony, because I kind of willed my way to the top of the ladder to get that piece of the net. I was kind of last, and I'm like, no, I'm going. I'm just getting one. That's it. I just need a piece of net. So
he's got the piece of net with him, Tony.
I have it. It's
good.
Yeah,
good.
It's not big, Tony. I don't know if you're on the chat, but there it is.
Oh, he is somewhere.
Yeah, I see it.
It's there.
I see it.
But I also got this is my cool thing that I like that they passed out. You get your own March Madness ticket. So I like that.
Awesome.
That's kind of a cool thing.
Hold on.
Anyway,
awesome. They did their thing, man. That was fun to watch last night. Fun to watch. I'm gonna be like dipping in and out of the view of this camera because the Aztecs, as you know,
right now, and the TV is not in my vision.
You do you.
Well, it is. I mean, look there. I mean, the stress that I underwent last night, I didn't think I could even be stressed again today. But I am stressed because Boise State
Aztecs are certainly doing it to us right now.
They are stressing us. I mean, they can't make a free throw. They foul every time down the court. Boise State keeps throwing up these crazy three-pointers, and they're going in. Yeah, it's getting down to the nitty-gritty. All right, Tony, let's get our mind off that for just a minute. There's 4 minutes left. Boise State leads by 4 at the moment. Padres today, taking it on the chin. I don't mind losing. I don't care. But I got to be honest with you. Now, Suarez struggled yesterday. Peralta yesterday. Jason Adam, of all people, gave up a homer today. I mean, he's like always automatic. Are these guys really? That's what Scraby said. Maybe they're all trying new pitches. Is that can we just slough it off to that, or just bad pitches? They're making bad pitches.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't anything new, guys. This is like what happens in spring training. Guys get on the mound. They're working their way to being right when games actually count. And this is Jason Adam, who was pretty much perfect through the first 3 times he came out. His last 2, he struggled, and that should be expected. I think you have to just look at these results with a grain of salt, good and bad at times, because ultimately it's hard to, especially if you're not watching the games and you're not like seeing how the things are developing. You shouldn't be making a judgment one way or the other. You cannot go into any spring training games not having watched them and just making assumptions based on the numbers you see, or the results of it. It's never the way it's worked. So it's almost, for me, I almost look at Jason Adams' situation like, good. He needs a couple of these. He was too perfect through the whole time. Eventually, you're gonna have a bad one. And then in terms of Suarez, this is kind of his MO. I don't think he's ever had a spring training where he's just cruise through and no hiccups at all. And I think this is all kind of a part of everybody's process. Yeah, I mean that's how I look at it. That's how I look at it.
And that's how we should look at it, but we don't. So, what are we going to do? We're trying. Scrappy and I try to get better, but I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't feel 100% comfortable, on opening day with my closer protecting a 1-run lead coming off a 1964 spring ERA. But knowing Suarez will come out there and throw darts and we'll be fine.
You'll have to deal with your own stress that you're creating for yourself. So,
and you know what? I'm living the stressful life now. I mean, with the triple overtime, the Aztec men here coming down to the nitty gritty. So I'm kind of used to The stress right now, Tony. I mean, it's a stressful time of year. It's March. It's craziness.
Yeah.
And what else is that? What else are you noticing? What else are you kind of feeling for that left field battle? The last 4 or 5 spots on the playing roster. Forget the pitching for a minute. Are you getting the sense that I am that Maldonado is going to be here when it's all said and done? He seems to be getting an awful lot of time. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know that I have a sense.
Okay.
Or I'm trying to have a sense of it at this point. I think it certainly at the beginning it was a lot of Diaz and Maldi. As of late, we've seen a lot more Camposano getting some opportunities. So I'm not. It's at this point. I think it's still too early to be trying to read tea leaves. I think Maldi didn't have a hit until today. Today was his first hit of spring.
Yeah.
And so you want to see those guys get going. So I think that's a part of it, right? Getting him his AB so he can feel better at the plate. But also you're managing. You got 3 catchers right now that are 4 catchers that are really trying to make the team. And so I think it's still a little too early. I think those 2 certainly have. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Yeah, we're down 7, Tony. It's not looking good. Not looking good at all.
I think those guys.
No, I hate having to watch these games while we're trying to do the show, but we're doing it.
Dog.
Yeah, they're down 7 with 3 minutes to go. It's looking bad.
I just think it's hard to make assumption really on anything right now. The left field competition is robust. A lot of guys doing well there. That's going to obviously affect what the extra spots on the roster also look like. It's not just left field, right? Because you have to assume that there's going to be one left fielder, and then one of these guys could end up grabbing one of those extra outfield spots that's going to be available. Lockridge has, I think, been kind of impressive in terms of his skill set, what he brings to the table. So even that's where we're at. What's today? The 13th? Yeah. Even though we got 11 days left here, I don't think anything's decided at this point.
I don't either. And we were trying to figure it out yesterday. And my point was, why don't you out there try to predict the last 5 guys on the roster right now? Write down your 5, and let's see if anybody gets it right. Because it's not going to be easy to do. There's so many guys.
No.
Here's another question, because I haven't had a chance to talk to you.
Shoot.
Iglesias comes in. We've already talked about what he is, what he represents, what he did last year with the Mets.
Yeah.
Is he not the same player, though, as Wade? Can the Padres have both of those guys?
No, I don't think he's the same player as Wade.
Okay.
I think, Wade has a little more ability to play all over. He's a guy who can play some outfield a little bit. I know he's been predominantly in the infield, but he's done that. I think at this point, that he could very well factor in it in terms of, that extra infielder that you need, but also a right-handed bat. He could, be in the same boat. Like if Cron doesn't get off to a good starter, he starts to struggle. That he could definitely be a platoon type of guy. He has shown that. He's impressed here early. Again, it's really hard to say how Mike Shilt's gonna do this. He's got some good options. I think that's pretty obvious at this point in terms of extra outfielders, extra infielders. Maybe it is in replace of T. Wade. I don't know. I think there's a scenario you could have both for sure. But I don't know, man. There's been a lot of impressive camps for sure.
And one last thing. Not everybody's going to make it. So other than Campusano, who I believe still has an option, and who's the other one? Connor Joe, I believe, still has an option.
Yeah, Connor Joe has an option too.
All right. But if those guys don't make it, okay. But are they going to be okay going to the minor league? Connor Joe going to be okay going to the minor leagues? I mean, would they have to basically cut Gurriel if he doesn't make it? What happens to the guys that don't make it is my question, basically. I guess everybody's got
an option.
Yeah.
If you don't have an option, you got to pass through waivers. So that means before they can outright release you, You have to clear, or I think if you have enough service time too, but you have to clear waivers last to first.
Right.
If no one claims you, then they can release you or send you down.
And you don't have to go down, but I guess what choice do you have?
If you have 5 years of service time, you can elect to go to free agency.
Okay.
Connor Joe doesn't quite have that, does he? I'm trying to think.
He has an option, so it doesn't matter.
But I'm just saying, if he's sent down, he's got to accept that.
An option, yes. You don't have a choice if you have options.
Okay.
Some of those guys may not have options.
Right.
And that's
it's going to be kind of fascinating. I must say, to see how it all plays itself out. And
yes,
my guess, here's my crazy guess. A couple of these guys will find their way to a disabled list. That to me is a way to kind of keep everybody, right? You put a couple guys on the injured list. I mean, it's worked in the past.
Oh, I've got a strained oblique.
Yeah.
That's what you do. But that's the thing is you got to have some semblance of an injury. You can't be healthy on the IL. That'll get you in trouble. So
I know.
If no one ends up hurt or has anything going right now,
yeah, I know. It's going
to be tough to do that.
I go. All right. It's also looking so
Chris
bleak
is getting
in Las
depressed
Vegas.
as we speak.
Yeah,
right now.
I'm getting depressed as we speak now.
Yeah, Boise State's they're not going to blow this, especially if that goes in. 58-51 with 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. The Aztecs are going to need.
You guys are like 18 seconds ahead of me.
Yeah, well, they just lost the ball and Boise's got it back. And yeah,
I'm going to turn this off then.
Turn it off. The men are going to, let's be honest, they're going to be nothing but really stressing now between now and Sunday, because we're going to have to see if they go to the tournament. All right, Gwynn and Chris comes back with the Big Five next.
Gwynn.
Thank you for listening to 97.3 The Fan. Be back shortly. I would be back shortly if the thing will click. See, I'm clicking. I have no idea what's happening. It's not playing any commercials right now. Well, this is just great, everybody. Let me see if I could try to start another one. All right. Well, this is awesome. On the air right now with no help, and there are no commercials to be played. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, everybody? You're getting a real live thing right here. This is real live Matt Scraby. I'm going to have to restart Wide Orbit real quick. So goodbye, Wide Orbit. It's not even closing. I'm going to text Adam, and I'm going to say, Adam, I tried to go to break and the commercials did not play, and the program won't shut down. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have to do some Control-Alt-Delete over here. Control-Alt-Delete. Okay, I got it. Task Manager. It's not coming up. There it goes. Task Manager came up, everybody. I have no idea. I'm way too generous with my stroke giving. Never mind.
Are you really?
Never mind.
Wait.
I did not mean for that to happen. I did not.
That sounds like a promo to me.
Scraby's giving out strokes. I can't wait to hear that one. I'm going to laugh for a while on that one.
Nate says, Scravy, maybe you should date her.
You might be a generous stroke giver, but I don't think she really wants to leave her boyfriend for that.
All right, that was good. In full disclosure, I'm reading this. Tony can't gather himself right now. That was a good one, Chris. That was a really good one. So I saw this at 7-Eleven, and I had to get it. It's called the One Chip Challenge. It was sitting there in the aisle, and I thought, why not? Because I am into spicy stuff. But this thing looks pretty hot. I'm not going to lie. It says a Reaper pepper and a Scorpion pepper. It's also in the shape of a coffin, which doesn't make me very happy about that. Doesn't make me feel good. Oh, extreme heat, it says. I'm going to try a little bit first, just so I don't die, I guess. That's the thing I'm saying. This looks... I don't even know if I should be eating this. It looks like it has mold or something, but let's see how hot it is. Let's go. There's a little bit of spice there. It's going. Oh, man. This is hot. Not that bad, though. I still have this side to go. It is getting hot. I'm not gonna lie. My mouth is like getting crazy. Now it's kicking in. I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish this. Honestly, it's getting serious. I gotta go with the milk. My mouth is dying right now. Yeah, this is not fun, guys. Never going to do that again because my mouth is on fire. Thank you for listening to 97.3 The Fan. Be back shortly. I would be back shortly if the thing will click. See, I'm clicking. I have no idea what's happening. It's not playing any commercials right now. Well, this is just great, everybody. Let me see if I could try to start another one. All right. Well, this is awesome. On the air right now with no help, and there are no commercials to be played. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, everybody? You're getting a real live thing right here. This is real live Matt Scraby. I'm going to have to restart Wide Orbit real quick. So goodbye, Wide Orbit. It's not even closing. I'm going to text Adam, and I'm going to say, Adam, I tried to go to break and the commercials did not play, and the program won't shut down. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have to do some Control-Alt-Delete over here. Control-Alt-Delete. Okay, I got it. Task Manager. It's not coming up. There it goes. Task Manager came up, everybody. I have no idea. I'm way too generous with my stroke giving. Never mind.
Are you really?
Never mind.
Wait.
I did not mean for that to happen. I did not.
That sounds like a promo to me.
Scraby's giving out strokes. I can't wait to hear that one. I'm going to laugh for a while on that one.
Nate says, Scravy, maybe you should date her.
You might be a generous stroke giver, but I don't think she really wants to leave her boyfriend for that.
All right, that was good. In full disclosure, I'm reading this. Tony can't gather himself right now. That was a good one, Chris. That was a really good one. So I saw this at 7-Eleven, and I had to get it. It's called the One Chip Challenge. It was sitting there in the aisle, and I thought, why not? Because I am into spicy stuff. But this thing looks pretty hot. I'm not going to lie. It says a Reaper pepper and a Scorpion pepper. It's also in the shape of a coffin, which doesn't make me very happy about that. It doesn't make me feel good. Oh, extreme heat, it says. I'm going to try a little bit first, just so I don't die, I guess. That's the thing I'm saying. This looks... I don't even know if I should be eating this. It looks like it has mold or something, but let's see how hot it is. Let's go. There's a little bit of spice there. It's going. Oh, man. This is hot. Not that bad, though. I still have this side to go. It is getting hot. I'm not going to lie. My mouth is, like, getting crazy. Now it's kicking in. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish this. Honestly, it's getting serious.
Back at it. Gwynn and Chris. Following a very disappointing loss from our Aztec men. Unfortunately, they go down to the 5 seed Boise State. And so now, based on whatever we know, we need some help. We need somebody that would be ahead of us to somehow not get in their tournament.
Yeah.
Don't know who those teams are or how it works, but
yeah, it's crazy.
We're gonna need some help, it seems like.
You got to just basically go home and get your Rosetta Stone out or whatever you need, whatever it is that you use. I don't even know if that's a prayer item.
No. Rosetta Stone I thought was like language.
Oh, that's a language.
Yeah.
Like it was like the key to a language.
All right, well then that's not going to do you any good. They gotta just hope all the teams that are supposed to win conference tournaments win them. They certainly can't allow somebody to come in and steal a bid.
Right. No stolen bids.
No, and they got to hope every other team on the bubble loses. I think they need Boise State to definitely lose to New Mexico in the next game, because otherwise I think Boise State would for sure jump them. They also need Colorado State probably to lose tonight to Nevada, because Colorado State could jump them. They have a lot of wishes right now, the Aztec men. It's too bad. They beat Boise State both in the regular season. I think that'll carry some weight. But today, they can't make a free throw, Tony, and they can't stop fouling. These two things killed them all season long. And
did Magoo not play?
He didn't play. And that was the other thing, offensive rebounds. Boise State kept chucking up threes, and they chucked up 40 3-pointers in the game, 40. And they only made 11. So that's not very good, actually, percentage-wise. But I can't tell you how many times.
Chances.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times they got the rebound and put it right back in. I mean, that seemed like it happened every time. And with Guath, I don't think it would have happened, but it did. And offensively, the Aztecs did not score a basket for the final 9 minutes of the game.
Oh, well, that definitely hurts.
Not going to win that way. So, hey, look, the Aztecs have had so many great moments.
Take that.
Sorry?
I don't know if like the NCAA football, they take into account injuries.
Yeah, maybe they will.
Hopefully that's the case, because obviously missing a guy like Magoon Guath is a big loss.
It's a big factor. And it's weird. This feeling is very weird for Aztec fans, which we are. This is the first time that they have lost in the quarterfinals of the Mountain West tournament in 18 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That's incredible.
Wow.
They've won in this round 17 years in a row. And I know a lot of Aztec fans are going to overreact, and they're going to, start criticizing this, that, and the other. Before you do it, just remember, 19 years in a row, they've won 19 games. They won 21 this year. They beat some great teams, and they still might get into the tournament. I can't be critical of this team. They have accomplished a whole lot, and I hope that they get into the tournament. But if they don't, it's not going to change my opinion. Aztec basketball has been incredible for 2 decades, and if they don't make it this year, it's going to be, it's going to hurt. But that's all. I don't know where you got that from.
Your play-by-play last night.
I don't even remember. I was so nervous. I certainly don't remember laughing at any time last night.
We're gonna be we're not gonna rate the radio call, but we're gonna play Chris's play-by-play at 5:20.
All right. Well, here's some of my clips. All right, ready to go to the Big Five?
Yes.
Let's go to the Big Five. Here's some traffic before we go.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drafty Oil Change, your trusted instant drafty oil change. What a difference from this morning on our roads, guys. Parts of the county still going to get some scattered showers, and we've got slick roadways and flooding around various parts. But yeah, nothing like what we had this morning. Looks like a crash is just cleared up on South 163 near the 805. And collision on the Coronado Bridge. Heading off the island about mid-span, that's over to the right shoulder. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Oil Change centers. You don't have to get out of your car, and it usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Plus, get a free courtesy check of your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible because we need to move it along. And we're going to start
number 5
with something we talked about yesterday. Tony was not a part of this conversation, so I'm very interested to hear what he has to say about it. We talked about Alayla Everett, the Virginia runner, who was accused of hitting another runner over the head with a baton to the point where she has a concussion, possibly a skull fracture as well. We played her audio yesterday, but she has been Lynchburg.
Concussion.
What?
It was just a concussion.
So it ended up just being concussion. Lynchburg Commonwealth Attorney Bethany Harrison said that an assault and battery charge has been filed over the incident.
Wow.
Tony, do you think we're taking this too far?
If she indeed did what the first angle showed,
yeah.
No. Yes, we are taking. No, we're not taking. What was the question?
I get what you're saying. Are we taking this too far, like by charging her and putting her through this all?
If the first angle that we saw is indeed what happened, no. I don't think we're taking it too far. I think the punishment.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You can't.
She absolutely looks like she clocks her on purpose as hard as she can.
And I say that because I've also seen a second angle where it doesn't look like she actually hits her. So I don't know. I'm going to reserve judgment until we get more facts on what actually happened. Because the two camera angles that we've seen show literally two completely different things. If it's the first angle, no, it is not too far. Somebody should be charged for that. If it's the second angle, then yes, we've gone way too far, and this will have to be addressed.
How funny is it that we have no idea what happened and we have the video in front of us?
Yeah, because you can't video intent.
Exactly.
You're right.
And we don't know what the intent is. If she intended to swing a baton and clock this other gal during a race, then she's got to be locked up for a while, or at least sent to the crazy bin.
She gotta. Yeah, there's gotta be.
There's got to be something there. But if she just got knocked off balance and swung her arm, trying to regain her balance, which she says, then you can't lock her up for that.
No, you can't. But I
don't know how are they gonna determine it?
I see her eyes lock in on the head.
Here comes the detective. Here comes the detective. This is the part. This is the part that gets us into trouble.
Okay, McLeod.
We can't just look at the two videos and be like, man, one side said look like this, one side. We gotta get deeper. Scrappy goes, oh, I saw her eyes lock in on the back of her neck. Which
she was like,
only insinuates that she was like, oh, I'm gonna hit this. You know what? Boom.
Yeah, lock and kill. Bah. Yes, I know. It's all a very serious situation, but we'll keep an eye on this for everyone. We will.
Okay.
Number 4.
The Tampa Bay Rays on Thursday today announced that the team will not move forward with a $1.3 billion stadium and redevelopment deal aimed at keeping the ball club in St. Petersburg. The team said this on Twitter, and a statement from owner Stu Sternberg. He said, after careful deliberation, we have concluded we cannot move forward with the new ballpark and development project at this moment. A series of events beginning in October that no one could have anticipated led to this difficult decision. Blah, 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 blah. We want to do something to make a new park. Blah, 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 blah. We want to focus on finding a park solution. All right, Chris.
Yeah.
Is the only ending to this story relocation?
I don't know what the story is, because all you kept reading was blah, 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 blah. So I don't know what happened.
They're not going to build a new stadium. They plan to move back into Tropicana in 2026.
I think that's bad for everybody in baseball. I mean, because that stadium's just not legit.
No.
And Tony's been there, so he can speak better than I can. I haven't been there, but I don't know that I think relocation may have to be the thing for Tampa. I mean, they don't seem like they support that team anyway, and the stadium isn't up to snuff. Maybe it's time they just try it somewhere else. There's got to be somewhere else that could work better than it's working in Tampa. I hate to say that.
Well, the Nashville Stars already put out a hat, so I'm pretty sure that we already know who the next team is going to be. Ugh. Tony?
Didn't Tony play in Nashville?
Yeah,
Tony's
for the Nashville Stars.
Yeah, Tony's
Sounds.
Tony's a heroic figure in that town.
That's great, and I love it. I love it. When I went down Tony Gwynn Jr. Drive, I took a picture.
There you go.
Okay, now we're just fabricating things.
Tony, is the only ending to this Rays story relocation?
No, it's not. It's not even a story. They won't relocate. Major League. This. Let's get back to this is money conversations. I can't remember the number, but in order to have a new team, a new organization in Major League Baseball, there's a fee that you got to pay Major League
expansion
Baseball.
Fee.
There's an expansion fee. They got 2 spots. They've been dying to, add.
Yeah.
You don't know where those spots
$2.2 billion, by the way.
So you're saying they'd rather add an expansion team in Nashville than move an existing team.
What they don't want to do is move in an existing team to one of these spots that they have picked out because they get nothing. I bet you they really didn't want to do the Vegas thing, but they must have calculated that they weren't going to get anything done in Oakland, I'm assuming. And so they allowed for the Vegas thing to go through. And even though it seemed a little bit murky there, it does seem like it has kind of cleared space, and that's the direction they're heading. So they got one team taken care of. the last team is Tampa. And I don't know, I didn't get a chance to tell you guys this. When I was in Florida, I happened to be watching the news, and they happened to bring up this subject. And the way this particular broadcaster who was covering it was talking, he was talking with just a crazy amount of confidence in terms of Major League Baseball will eventually force a sale here of this owner to some local big wigs that have. And my man he went on 3 renderings for different spots in Tampa. That's the other thing. Right now, this stadium is in St. Petersburg. Much smaller population than actual Tampa. And it sounded like, just from watching the news out there, that they got 3 cats lined up ready to buy this team when that presents itself. And so
could you imagine if I said they got 3 cats to buy the team?
I'd be like,
do you know how crazily bad that would sound if I said it?
What kind of cats?
Yeah, right. I know. It would sound so bad.
Tabby cat?
They got these 3 gentlemen, or I don't know. It could be.
No, I like
young ladies.
I like when you say it, Tony.
I'm just saying that they have this. I think that's where this is headed. It's headed for a sell. And then a new owner, new stadium going up in Tampa. And guess what? That 2.2 is lined up, ready to roll to add 31 and 32 to Major League Baseball.
That's it. I mean, that's the answer. I didn't even think about that. Edward DeBartolo Jr. is on the list of buying a team.
2.2. I think I think it ends up being like 133 million divided amongst all the owners. They get that's only like half of some team's payroll, but to have that kind of cash and just to accept somebody in, I think it's well worth it for them.
It might be half of some team's payroll, but for the Rockies, it's 10 years worth of payroll.
They're like, yes, we don't need to pay payroll for 10 years.
You know who's going to be first in line to collect that check, don't you? Mr. Monfort, our guy.
Number 3.
ESPN's latest 30 for 30 has sparked a $25 million lawsuit. The documentary focusing on the New York Sack Exchange included a clip of a 2023 interaction between former Jets defensive end Mark Gastineau and former Packers quarterback Brett Favre. Gastineau blames Favre for giving the single-season sack record to former Giants defensive end Michael Strahan. And I forgot how awkward this moment was. Do you guys remember this moment? How awkward it was?
Yeah. No, they have film of Gastineau confronting Favre about it.
And I'm going to play it right here. Brett Favre looks like he does not know what in the world is happening during this, but here it is.
Are you telling me? We met a long time ago. At least I saw you.
Right.
How you doing?
When you fell down for him. I'm going to get my sack back. Dude.
You probably would hurt me.
Well, I don't care. You hurt me. You hurt me.
God, this is uncomfortable.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
You really hurt me. You hurt me, Brett.
We got to get back to this, Brett. I'm sorry.
Oh, I really do feel bad for Mark Gastineau.
I'm a little queasy at the moment.
I know.
Oh, wow. I mean, first of all, Favre was like trying to be like he was joking, like he was like jokey. Before he realized
he's like,
man,
he's like, I want my sack back, and then Brett's face goes from, oh no, this guy's serious.
He's serious.
He was serious. Gastineau's heart broken over that sack.
Yeah, I do feel bad, but he is suing ESPN now because
this is silly.
They're saying it's allegedly malicious and false portrayal. He wants $25 million.
Stop.
The lawsuit alleges that ESPN. I have to present the facts, guys.
Where's our gavel? We need to get the gavel out right now.
You're wasting time. Please get
The lawsuit alleges that ESPN intentionally and maliciously did not publish a key part of the meeting between Gastineau and Favre. The clip shows Favre extending his hand to Gastineau, but it never shows Gastineau shaking it. The lawsuit contends that they did shake hands. He is receiving death threats online. He's saying that his life is ruined because of this moment and what ESPN did. I don't even care who's first. I think Tony is. Does he have a case?
We've already discussed this.
I do have this to say. And I guess because of the actual threat, I guess we have to take it seriously. But it seems like death threats come with almost everything. They come with coffee now. They come with anything you order. you're getting death threats now. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. Like,
You want a
every
latte?
single time you have one of these,
Watch him
every single time
die.
every single time we have these type of discussions, it ends or it's followed with and such received death threats because of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's becoming like it's becoming desensitized of it at this point, because you literally get death threats with whatever is coming with the story all the time. That being said, this is silly. I mean, I think everybody who has a pair of eyes saw that he was very serious. Brett Favre was joking and realized he was serious, and you can even see in Brett Favre's face, like, okay, I need to
be cool
have
about
some.
this.
Yeah, exactly. So he wasn't portrayed bad. He was portrayed like a guy who was hurt because his record got taken away. Everybody gets that though.
Like, I have trouble watching videos sometimes, and that's one of the hardest videos I've ever had to watch. It's so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. All right, well, we still got 2 more to go. So we also have at 5:20 Chris's radio calls from last night's game. So everybody stick around. We'll be back shortly.
He was on it last night.
He was. Where's my little laugh from him? Here we go.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight and back left.
Straight back left.
Straight around that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tony?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Pretty good.
Wow. Just like I told you, next to the famous Barney Dreyfus and Leslie Wilkinson, whoever they are.
That does look like them.
I know. It's a good shot. They don't do them all that great. That one's good. Really good.
I missed a year. 300. Must have been bad. Huh? I used to be. Not anymore, though.
Oh, it's so cool. What team did you play on?
I can give you a long list of them. Brewers, Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Nationals.
What position did you play?
I played outfield. This was my dad. Oh, there's Dick Williams, Goose. I think he'd be pretty happy with his company over there. So.
What are you thinking of seeing it for the first time?
I'm thinking that
hot. I'm quite warm right now, but it's cool. I mean, it's what I thought it was going to be. I mean, who not too many people can say they have a dad that's enshrined in this place. So I think this is awesome.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight and back left.
Straight back left.
Straight around that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tony?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Pretty good.
Wow. Just like I told you, next to the famous Barney Dreyfuss and Leslie Wilkinson, whoever they are.
That does look like them.
I know. It's a good shot. They don't do them all that great. That one's good. Really good.
I missed a year. 300. Must have been bad. Huh? I used to be. Not anymore, though.
Oh, it's so cool. What team did you play on?
I can give you a long list of them. Brewers, Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Nationals.
What position did you play?
I played outfield. This was my dad. Oh, there's Dick Williams, Goose. I think he'd be pretty happy with his company over here. So.
What are you thinking of seeing it for the first time?
I'm thinking that
hot. I'm quite warm right now, but it's cool. I mean, it's what I thought it was going to be. I mean, who not too many people can say they have a dad that's enshrined in this place. So I think this is awesome.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight and back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tony?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Pretty good.
Not as much to be happy about today as there was certainly last night. Gwynn and Chris on 97.3 The Fan. If you're an Aztec, last night was incredible. The women's basketball team it's still kind of cool to just say it. Triple overtime win in the championship.
I got some questions for you, really, but we got to wait and finish our thing. But I got a couple questions for you when we get done.
Okay. It was incredible. Veronica Sheffey, the MVP of the tournament, was on earlier. She was terrific. If you want to hear that interview, what was it? 3:15. Go back. You can listen at 97.3 The Fan SD.
It's also on the website.
So she was with us. The men not so fortunate today. For the first time in 18 years, they do not make it to the Mountain West semifinals. Think of that, though. That's a pretty good run. But they came up short today. Went without a field goal for the final 9 minutes. Boise State 62, San Diego State 52. Padres spring from hell that doesn't matter continued anyway. Kansas City scored 4 in the 9th to win 6-5. And finally, I know Tony's going to go crazy, but we're just having fun.
I'm not
with
even
it.
the one who's panicking about spring
I'm
training.
not panicking either. I'm just having a goofy time with it. I'm trying to play it off. I really am.
There was something I was going to say that had nothing to do with the panic or anything like that, but now I can't remember. So go ahead.
That's all right.
I digress.
SDFC is home to Columbus Crew Saturday night, 7:30. Stern warning from the organization to keep the chants out. And if you're there, you're making the chant, you're gone, and you're not going to be coming back. Appreciate the organization doing its best to help us look good in San Diego, because I don't want to be associated with what happened in that first game. Even though I wasn't there, it's still San Diego fans, and I don't want that to be. So let's behave and enjoy the game Saturday night. We had a good interview.
Brian Dunseth.
Yeah, Brian Dunseth.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
If you're a soccer guy, listen to this guy's interview. He was on it, man. So that was earlier as well.
Can you help me? I had been practicing all last night, and I had it, but I can't seem to get it right today. Can you say Naomi's last name for me?
I
yes.
could say it too.
I've said it about 1,000 times, and I've needed to. By the way, before I tell you, the PA announcer at the game in Las Vegas
was butchered
it every time. Like,
it's really hard
for 3 games in a row. Like, come on. Give it. Go home and practice. Panganiban.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, that young lady is special.
Yeah, she is. She doesn't care, Tony. She steps up and takes these shots.
She plays with like no fear at all. It is really impressive to watch. I mean, she guarded the pocket passes she was hitting, even when we didn't necessarily convert the other one. I mean, she had no hesitation in the mid-range J too. I enjoy watching her play so much last night.
And she made and she's not been known for her defense. That's the one thing, she's a freshman, right? So they've been working with her.
Yeah.
But there she was in the third overtime, coming off her man to knock the ball away from their center.
She did that a couple times too during that end of that game.
A huge play she made. So Naomi, and she's, you met her in studio. She's a terrific young kid, and she had a great year. So yes, Panganiban is one of the heroes. She made the all-tournament team along with Sheffey.
As she should have.
Yeah. All right,
Scrape, go ahead, man.
What you got? Oh, you got to finish up your big five.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Just loading a video onto the internet right now, and let's get back into it.
Number 2.
I'm still reeling after the Mark Gastineau video. I cannot let that out of my mind.
Wow.
You have to see this video. It's that awkward. All right. The Steelers have agreed to a 2-year deal with quarterback Mason Rudolph, bringing their 2018 third-round pick back into the fold after a season with the Tennessee Titans. Sources confirmed to ESPN today. Securing Rudolph while the Steelers await a decision from Aaron Rodgers gives their barren quarterback room a veteran option with starting experience. They also signed former Miami Dolphins quarterback Skylar Thompson, Chris.
Hey, have at it. What can I tell you? Have at it.
I think Chris is up first on this one. Mm-hmm. The rumors are Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Steeler. It's just a matter of time. Is Aaron Rodgers going to save the Steelers?
I think there's a better chance of Aaron Rodgers driving Mike Tomlin out of the game. Can you imagine our guy Mike Tomlin is going to have to deal with Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf? That doesn't sound like a fit to me. I understand that Rodgers still may have something left, and he showed some signs of it here and there, but that doesn't seem like a good fit to me. Tony, what do you think?
It doesn't seem like a good fit, but I also am a believer in Mike Tomlin in terms of, at the very least, he's going to be able. I don't think Aaron Rodgers even entertains going there if he's not willing to at least, get on the same page as Mike Tomlin. I think he's picked the places. I think he picked the place he picked because he felt like he'd have a little bit more power. I don't know that he's picking a place like Pittsburgh in order to do that, right? That's a place that they're not going to waver on their head coach or any of the coordinators that the head coach likes. So I don't see it. The fact that he's considering going, I think that may signal that he maybe recognizes that he may need somebody like this in order to get where he's going. I think it's a great situation for him because I do think Aaron has some stuff left in the tank. And you got two, although volatile, very talented. I would even say that DK's volatile when it comes to on the sideline.
Yeah.
Most of his issues come at the other team and doing things to the other team.
Yeah.
His other partner, though, is definitely volatile. And you wonder if a guy like Rodgers can kind of calm that down because he still has a little bit left. I don't think it's a natural fit, but I think it can work.
team or someone on the chat says the Steelers are going to trade up to get Shedeur.
Okay.
Great.
Who everybody now hates because he's confident.
Well,
this is unbelievable to
I
me.
do think that's ridiculous. He's Deion Sanders' kid. What do you think he's going to be like?
He's a confident guy.
I tend to agree that a lot of what Shedeur is dealing with is because people don't like his pops.
Yeah.
And they know they're not going to be able to get away with just telling Shedeur anything.
Even though I'm not the biggest Shedeur Sanders fan of all time, I do agree that the media is going a little bit too hard in the paint on Shedeur. All right.
I don't think it's the media. I think it's these other suckers that are actually in the football game.
Yeah. No, it's some people in the game that don't like him, apparently.
Oh, you're talking about coaches and the rumors.
Talking about the rumor stuff that they're
the
and
anonymous
listen, This is a
rumor.
part of the game. This also could be teams trying to scare other teams off, so he falls to them. I mean, this
Fair
is
enough.
all part of it.
Right.
All
Could
right.
be. Yep.
I have a major issue with the Today Show today. This morning I had it on in passing while I was working, and they brought up that Montana State beat Montana with a buzzer-beating layup to win the Big Sky last night. This was a 1 seed in Montana State that went 30-3 this season. Montana was a 6 seed. It went 14-18 this season. So it's hardly an upset at all, Chris and Tony. The Aztecs women, though, triple OT thriller, and a 4 seed beat a 2 seed. No mention on the Today Show. So, Tony, am I right?
All of a sudden, you're like Monty Montezuma over there. What's going on?
Am I right to be? What does that mean? Oh, Monty.
He doesn't know who Monty
No.
Montezuma is.
I thought you were talking about Monty Python. No, you're right. Monty Montezuma. I know who that is. Tony, am I right to be upset about this?
I don't know if you're upset. I don't know if you're right to be upset. I'll say this. I think I don't think any of the people who hosted Today's Show watched either or any of those games.
Yeah.
I don't think whoever
they don't have the choice here.
Whoever the producer is, whatever reason, liked Montana's. Maybe they went there. Maybe they know someone there. Maybe they were watching that game.
Yeah,
that's the only reason why that game got on the Today Show.
I do love when they try to talk about it. Craig Melvin's like, "Oh yeah, that was a great shot." Yeah,
like they know. I mean, honestly,
that's just as cringy to watch sometimes too. By the way,
I mean, I don't know.
Can you
the Today
believe that
Show
they're heading to the tournament?
Yeah. The Today Show doing Montana State highlights is like ESPN ducking in, stock prices or something. It just doesn't seem to go together.
It's really strange.
Yeah.
All right. Wait, do you think I should be upset about this, Chris?
No. I mean, look, the Aztec women are getting their due where they need it and where they deserve it, and that's right here in San Diego. I told Scraby this earlier, Tony. I posted a picture of Stacy and I with the trophy.
I saw it.
I normally get 15 to 20 likes on a women's basketball post. I got 10 times that amount today. And that just shows me that many people are kind of excited about it. And so
that's the
that
question.
Makes it
that's
good.
the question I actually had for you is how excited was Stacy? I mean, this is her first time getting to the big dance. So I mean, this got to be a pretty big moment for her.
Her mom was crying so much that she made me cry. Stacy's mom was very excited for her daughter. Stacy, stop it, Scraby.
Jerk.
Yeah, I know. Stacy, I saw her as late as maybe 2 hours after we got back to the hotel. I still think it hadn't sunk in. That's the only way I can describe it. I don't think it had really sunk in. I think she, you go through that game, Tony, it takes a life of its own after a while. And you start, then it's over and you're like, wow, that happened. But I don't think it ever sunk in. So I don't know 100% how she feels, but because I don't think it sunk in for her.
She was coaching her tail off. I mean,
yes, she was.
The substitutions. I mean, the one thing about the Aztecs, they were fresh. They got a 10 girl rotation there.
Yeah.
And she kept it rolling through most of that OT time.
Well, can you imagine, Tony? They had a 5-point lead with a minute left in overtime. And then they had a 5-point lead with a minute left in the second overtime. And both times they couldn't hang on. And so the kids have to come to the bench, and now you have to get them ready for another overtime. Yeah, so I really give her and the staff a lot of credit. Because, I mean, a lesser team, I think, would be like, oh, God, we just blew it,
Again?
Yeah, we blew it. But they refused to wilt.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun watching that game last night.
Wow. It was fun. It was fun to call it, and Scraby's been waiting all day to play some of our highlights. So we'll relive some of the madness that was that triple overtime game last night in Las Vegas.
Strasburg ready to go.
All right.
I got a new toy, Chris.
No, I got a new toy too. I'm block. Wait, I'm going to block you out.
Oh, okay.
Block you out. More Gwynn and Chris coming up.
From the 8.
Chris, Ello. Yeah, we're here in Cooperstown for 97.3 The Fan. So excited, the induction weekend for the great Trevor Hoffman. What a class he's going in with, too. Let's take a look. Of course, Alan Trammell from Kearney High School in San Diego. And then, of course, the Detroit Tigers' great shortstop, Jack Morris, in a Tiger uniform there, but I always remember him pitching that 1-0 shutout in Game 7 of the 1991 World Series for the Minnesota Twins. Maybe the greatest postseason pitching performance of all time. Chipper Jones, Padre fans remember him. Every fan of a National League team remembers him because he would come in and do damage to that team. Only the second #1 overall pick in the Major League Draft, Chipper Jones, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. The other is Ken Griffey Jr. Vladimir Guerrero. Never met a pitch he couldn't swing at. And powerhouse hitter for the Expos and then, of course, the Angels at the end of his career. Jim Thome, over 600 home runs, mostly with the Cleveland Indians. And then, oh, yeah, the guy down here on the end who used to get all these guys out all the time, Trevor Hoffman, the greatest Padre reliever of them all. Two of the greatest outfielders in the history of baseball. Of course, you've got Babe Ruth right here. Ted Williams right over there. I was wondering who the third outfielder would be. And then, of course, it hit me. Tony would be upset if I didn't say that the third outfielder, who will someday probably be displayed right here between these two guys, is obviously Mike Trout. And this is the San Diego Padres locker room here in Cooperstown. Obviously, a couple of jerseys there and hats, gloves, all-star stuff. I think the most interesting thing in this entire display, though, especially this weekend, is a picture in the top corner of Angus Young. He's the guitarist for AC/DC, wearing a Trevor Hoffman uniform, obviously playing Hell's Bells. I know that Trevor went to many AC/DC concerts and was honored by sitting in the front row to watch AC/DC play Hell's Bells in his honor. But there's a picture of Angus Young playing Hell's Bells for Trevor Hoffman, wearing the 51 jersey right there. Chris Ello, yeah, we're here in Cooperstown for 97.3 The Fan. So excited, the induction weekend for the great Trevor Hoffman. What a class he's going in with, too. Let's take a look. Of course, Alan Trammell from Kearney High School in San Diego. And then, of course, the Detroit Tigers, great shortstop. Jack Morris in a Tiger uniform there, but I always remember him pitching that 1-0 shutout in Game 7 of the 1991 World Series for the Minnesota Twins. Maybe the greatest postseason pitching performance of all time. Chipper Jones, Padre fans remember him. Every fan of a National League team remembers him because he would come in and do damage to that team. Only the second #1 overall pick in the Major League Draft, Chipper Jones, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. The other is Ken Griffey Jr. Vladimir Guerrero. Never met a pitch he couldn't swing at. And powerhouse hitter for the Expos and then, of course, the Angels at the end of his career. Jim Thome, over 600 home runs, mostly with the Cleveland Indians. And then, oh, yeah, the guy down here on the end who used to get all these guys out all the time, Trevor Hoffman, the greatest Padre reliever of them all. Two of the greatest outfielders in the history of baseball. Of course, you've got Babe Ruth right here. Ted Williams right over there. I was wondering who the third outfielder would be. And then, of course,
.520 on the clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Scraby, my partner, and his team, the Lady Aztecs, headed to an NCAA tournament for the first time since, was it 2012? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. 2012.
2012, 13 years later.
Yeah.
Here we are.
And what were the odds, Tony?
Yeah.
The men's team now may not be going to the NCAA tournament. That's a...
I don't want to talk about that right now.
I know, you're right.
I just want to talk about the positive stuff right now. I think that my partner had a wonderful night in terms of how he called this game. And my other partner, Scraby, has cut some clips of some of these calls that Mr. Ello had last night.
I'm going to relive it, huh, Scrape?
We are. Let's start. I think we should start with, the end. This is the final call of the game. I think we should go here because, Chris, you could hear the excitement in his voice, but here is the actual moment that they won.
To Villalobos, back to Sheffey. It's over! Somehow, some way, unbelievably, they have climbed the mountaintop. Final score in triple overtime, 72-68. The Aztecs win it. They are, as you might imagine, going a little crazy out there.
Yeah, what's up with the voice, Chris?
Hey,
the voice was gone.
It was fading. The fourth overtime, I would have really been in trouble. So,
I would definitely.
At what point did you know your voice was hanging on by a thread?
It was about 2 minutes ago in the third overtime. I heard it kind of crack a couple times, and I was like, "Uh-oh." I was like, I don't know what I can do. I just had to kind of keep trying to go.
He kept going. I listened to the whole thing and I re-listened to it to find these clips, and he kept having his voice crack, and he'd go trying not to do it over the air, but he couldn't go forward because he couldn't speak.
Yeah.
All right. This next one is Veronica Sheffey. She was on our show earlier. We're going to hear from her in about 15 minutes or so, but she also won the Mountain West Tournament MVP. And so this clip has her hitting a 3 and then a steal right after that.
2:11 to go. Wing right. Bounce it into Villalobos again. Kim drives baseline. In trouble. Out to Green. Over to Sheffey. 4-3. Yeah! She got it! A three-pointer by Sheffey. 61-56. 1:50 to go. Peterson inside, knocked away, stolen by Jaslyn Green. Aztecs ball. 1:40 to go, leading by 5 in the second overtime.
There you go. Good stuff, Chris.
Yeah, but they didn't hold on to that lead. Had to go to the third overtime.
Yes.
After that one.
Now here's another good showing of Chris's play-by-play skills. This is a Panganiban steal. Whoops. Dang it, Matt.
Oli Leinen drives, kicks it. Barnes inside to Fertig. Knocked away, stolen. Panganiban. Sheffey in the front court, fouled by Peterson. Naomi Panganiban came over and knocked it out of the hands of Fertig.
All right, now this next one, Chris even has good things to say about the other team.
Not fair.
Melema
Not fair.
drives it underneath, reverse, and scores. Wow. What a play by Melema. 33 seconds.
All right.
I was a little dejected on that one because that was in the third overtime, and I thought they're going to tie us up again.
You were already thinking about it.
Yeah.
This is late in the game. I'm not sure exactly what time, but it's a block shot by the Aztecs.
10 seconds to shoot. Oli Leinen gives it down the middle to Fertig. Blocked by Clark. Unbelievable play again by Clark. Aztecs ball, 1:30 to go, leading by 2.
See, I mean, if we're rating the radio call, you're telling us everything we need to know.
As much as I could at that point. Callie Clark was incredible. She's a 6'3" center. She transferred here this year from Colorado State to play her last season of college basketball. I met her parents.
Is that the center?
Yeah, that's the center. 6'3".
She
played
was
incredible.
She was phenomenal.
Yeah, she was. And her parents are really terrific. I met them late in the season, and they said they wished that she had gone to San Diego State the whole time because that's Stacey Terry Hudson's program. I mean, she just loved this year, and she was the hero of the game. She was the the old NBC thinks, she was the Miller Genuine Light draft player of the game or whatever they used to call her. Yeah, she was good.
Question from the chat, Chris. What call did you enjoy more, last night or Steven Strasburg's no-hitter? That's a good question.
That's good.
Strasburg ready to go.
I'm going to go with last night, a little fresher in my mind, and I didn't have the same and don't have the same connection to Steven Strasburg as I do to these kids. So,
all right, let's do one more. And this is where I get the laugh from, because Chris tells all the audience he's got nothing left.
Needs this one to go up by 2. Got it. Timeout, Wyoming. I mean, I'm so nervous. All I can do is laugh. I don't really have anything else. I don't have a whole lot left to give you.
That was good, Chris. I do love that. The laugh is hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either. I think that was my. I think Mick Cronin would say that was me being. No, I was being not delusional. I was being delirious at that point.
I think so.
I was just delirious at that point.
But you had a really. It was really fun hearing you do that last night. I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
Ton.
What a night! What a night! Thank you, Scrappy, for
let's do the SDFC tickets, Chris.
San Diego FC tickets. They got a game coming up.
They do.
Saturday night, Columbus Crew in town. The Crew coming in to take on our what do we call them?
I know you can't. They don't have a name. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
The FCers. You can't call them that.
I struggle with this too.
We're gonna have to come up with a nickname that is how there's certain teams that have a nickname, but it's not necessarily. We're gonna need something like that.
We need something because it's hard to reference them.
Yeah, I'm trying to. While you're talking, I was actually trying to find an old trivia question from the NASL days of the San Diego Sockers.
You could just give it out to caller number 12. If
well, I just discovered that I'm not going to be able to come up with a question.
Okay,
so
good.
yes, it's going to go to caller number. I'm going to make you work. Caller number 16.
Oh, good. That means I get to hang up on 15 other people. It makes me happy.
He loves that.
His favorite thing.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's get to break. On the other side, we have our
Veronica Sheffey.
Oh, of course, Veronica Sheffey, the Mountain West Conference Tournament Player of Player Tournament
MVP.
What is it?
MVP.
Who's
Straight
going
up.
MVP?
Yeah,
Boom.
straight up.
Yeah.
You'll hear next here on Gwynn and Chris.
Ben and
Stand up, stay low. Hands on the heart. Stay low.
You idiot. Typical tandem student right there.
I tried. I wrecked your
Good job, buddy.
Fun, huh?
You need help with anything?
Hi, welcome back to Gwynn and Chris. 5:35 is the time. Final segment for us today. Scraby will carry on with the Chronicles from 6 to 7. Tony's in Peoria. Just tuning in. Padres lose to the Royals 6-5. I'm not going to go over any of the details of the game. Otherwise, I'll sound like it's bothering me.
But it is bothering
I
you.
know. Also bothering me
I'm about
was...
to say, you.
It is bothering me. Also bothering me was the Aztecs men today. First quarterfinal loss in the Mountain West tournament in 18 years. Boise State beat them. But my spirits are lifted by what the Aztec women did last night. And to that end, Veronica Sheffey will be our guest shortly. Who was our winner of the big prize, Scrabe? The tickets to go see the FCers. Yeah, we got to come up with a name. We just got to think of something. SDFC will take on the Crew. See, Columbus has a name, the Crew.
Yeah.
You know, I can get into that. I can get behind that a little bit. Both teams, by the way, have a record of 2 wins and 1 draw. So good start for the Sockers. The soccer. I'm looking at the old webpage for the FCers. Time now to name today's biggest fan. And that biggest fan is Ray Rios of San Diego. Ray, give us a call back. You've got 10 minutes to do it. 833-288-0973. You'll qualify for a grand prize. 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey suite at a Padre game later this season. Remember to register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. Ray Rios. Ray, your 10 minutes starts right about now.
Tick, tick, tick. I got one more thing, Chris, before you get going. This hour, 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Popeyes. Let Popeyes do the fishing while you enjoy our delicious seafood. Come in today for Popeyes shrimp tackle box or our flounder fish sandwich in classic or spicy. Get them before they're gone. Legal for a limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. They also have a very good jingle, and I always sing it.
Go ahead.
Love my chicken from Popeyes.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Yeah, it's great. Every time I sing it. I am a sucker for marketing jingles.
Hey, we are 80s babies.
That's
this
true.
Is what happens.
That's
You're
true.
born in the 80s. You're consumed by jingles.
That's true. Love my chicken from Popeyes. Chris, you know what that means?
You guys sound good, man. I don't want to get in your way. I don't want to step on your performance.
J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now.
Why did that come up?
Because that's another jingle.
This is a jingle.
The one in town was great. It was Dashers, Dashers, Dashers. Or Shaq doing the General commercial was great too.
Dashers, man, that was another good one for sure.
Yeah.
Jingles. I hate when I do this because Scraby gets to play his little sounder.
What do we got?
He's got his finger on the button.
I'm sure he does.
Oh, is it turn back time? Okay.
Yeah. Jingles used to like there were jingles back in the day that became honestly Billboard placing songs.
Like
Coca-Cola.
was the Double Mint one too?
I don't think so, but Coca-Cola had a couple of songs that I think actually made it onto the charts. That's how big a deal jingles were.
Really
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dominic says 2 all beef patties, lettuce, ...
Yeah. Come on, everybody. 2 all beef patties, chicken seat. Yeah. And there was a little kid who used to do that commercially. His 4 or 5 years name was Rodney Allen Rippey. Does anybody remember this kid?
Why do you know the McDonald's commercial guy kid?
Why do you know your commercials that you know right now?
I'm not naming the actor of the commercial. That is just next level.
Okay, Rodney Allen.
This is how popular it was.
Rodney Allen Rippey was huge. I mean, you don't understand. This kid was like 4 or 5 years old, and he appeared in TV commercials for fast food. And he was, I guess it was, I thought he was McDonald's. He was Jack in the Box. So see, I was wrong, Scrabe. Born in Tony Gwynn Sr.'s hometown of Long Beach, California. Rodney Allen Rippey. He was a big popular guy there for a while.
I got a text message from my guy, Chris. Not you. He said, you have me now singing, Massey Nissan. Massey Nissan moves you. I love that. Which was the one with? Oh,
that was a staple on. That was a staple on anything that the Padres were on at the time.
Oh yeah,
like Mozzie, you were definitely hearing that watching a Padre game in between innings.
Absolutely.
What was the one that we were singing around here a couple of years ago, Scraby, that we couldn't get out of our mind?
Yeah.
Oh, Totalmente.
Totalmente.
It's not the same commercial that I've heard 10 trillion times of the guy in Tijuana who calls his girlfriend and they end up somehow reuniting so far away.
Totalmente.
Yeah,
that
thanks
one
for
was crazy.
saving me, Chris, because
I
just badmouthed an advertiser.
Here's the bad news there. I will walk in the door tonight and Lori will go, "How was your day?" And I'll go, "I don't know." Totalmente.
Oh, I love it so much.
All right, we have a couple of I want to, since we have a couple of seconds and we're just kind of doing happy hour stuff, something that's not so happy but needs to be mentioned. One of the great sports writers of all time, John Feinstein, passed today at the age of 69. All I'll say is, if you've never read Season on the Brink, which he wrote about spending a season with Bobby Knight and the Indiana Hoosiers, and if you have not read his other book about golf called A Good Walk Spoiled.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You don't know everything you need to know about sports. John Feinstein was an incredible writer. Those two books especially were so interesting and so revealing. In fact, the Bobby Knight book was so good that Bobby Knight gave him the access and then hated him after the book came out.
Hated him after.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was so accurate in what he wrote. Bobby Knight didn't want to give that much away. Feinstein was insane. He was also a fantastic writer for the Washington Post and many other, publications. So he was also on one of my shows many years ago as a guest. So I'll never forget him for coming on for that. John Feinstein passes at the age of 69 today.
Chris holds you in very high regard if you spent 30 seconds on his show 30 years ago, which I appreciate, Chris.
Well, when you're somebody like John Feinstein, you don't have to commit to coming on a sports talk radio show.
All right. I tried to make a joke, and it ended up looking like I'm a jerk.
It crashed and burned.
Per usual.
One more time, those books, because write it down if you haven't read them. A Good Walk Spoiled, and that gives you a great look at what golf is all about. And then the Bobby Knight thing, A Season on the Brink. Two great books. All right. Ready for our guest?
Yes.
Traffic first.
Yep.
Then the hero of that triple overtime classic and the Mountain West champion, Aztecs.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Could still see a scattered shower or two, so always a good idea to take that into consideration. Be extra careful. What we've got are some very windy conditions right now, and it's blowing debris in various parts of the county, so be extra alert out there on the roads. One accident to mention, this is in the North County, southbound 15 past Deer Springs Road. Vehicle spun out, hit the center divide, and looks like it's now trying to make its way over to the right shoulder, so take it extra carefully there, south 15 past Deer Springs Road. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Tournament MVP, Veronica Sheffey from the Aztecs, nice enough to join us here on 97.3 The Fan. Veronica, it is the next afternoon. I've been to sleep. I've taken a nap. I'm still worn out after that game. How are you holding up?
Yeah, I'm good. I am a little bit tired, I will say that, but it's been really nice just to soak it all in with the team and coming back here to the school and just being greeted by everybody, congratulating us. It's really something special. So it's definitely something I'll never forget.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are going to forget that one. And you played 51 minutes in this game. I don't even know you were aware of that. And at the very end, the Aztecs are leading by 2, and you go to the free throw line, and you got 2 free throws to basically clinch it. After everything that had happened, and you made them both. But how do you make those? Honestly, I mean, I'd be so nervous. I think the ball would just fall out of my hands, honestly.
No, it was just, walking into the moment. I knew if we secured those 2 free throws, it would give us a good chance of them not being able to come down the floor and you make a play. So we would go up by 4. So, one of the previous times I went up there, I missed the first one and then made the second one. But I knew I had to knock those two down. So just staying locked in into, what we really wanted. I think everyone just really wanted to win really, really bad. And I think we just wanted it more than the other team. So that's just really what it came down to, and just staying locked into that mindset. So.
And before Scraby jumps in, I want to ask you one more thing, because at the very end of the game, when the final buzzer sounded, the ball was in your hands. And I think that's where it belonged. What was the first reaction, or can you even remember what your first thought was when you flung that ball finally to the sky?
I couldn't even tell you what it was. It was just, I don't know. It was unbelief and just overwhelming joy, and just, I really don't have any words for it. I'm still I don't even think it's real still right now. So it's definitely just crazy and something super, super special. So
yeah. That's extremely special. We're talking to Veronica Sheffey here, Aztecs women's basketball player, and she won the 2025 Mountain West Tournament MVP. I want to ask one more question about the game, because when I was listening to Chris last night, I was tired when you guys were going into the third overtime. Like, honestly, how do you play so many days in a row and then find more energy to play in a third overtime in a championship game?
Yeah, going into the game, we knew it was going to be, a fight all the way into the end. But, I didn't think we would go into 3 overtimes, that's for sure. But I think after every overtime, we were like, all right, gather together, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. So just repeating that and us coming together. We all knew we were tired, but, hey, if this is what it takes, then we got to do it. So, and we got it done. So.
Veronica Sheffey is with us, and being around this team, Veronica, the one thing I've noticed, and look, I've been around a lot of these teams. This one gets along as well, if not better, than any team I've ever been around. And the one thing, everybody cheers for each other. Everybody's got one of these bracelets, which I'm wearing right now, by the way, that says "We over me," and you guys have bought into that. And everybody supports everyone. No one cares who gets the credit. There have been games where you've been on the bench in the fourth quarter and someone else has kind of taken over the game. It just works out with this team. You guys all, I don't want to love each other. I really feel that. And it was so special to see. Talk a little bit about your relationship with your teammates.
Like you say, it's just everyone gets along really well, and it's not like we're divided, and I think everyone can see that as we're on the floor. We all work really well together, and just even starting from the summer working out together, everyone just complemented each other super well. And I think we've been able to grow on that and our strengths over the months coming. And, I think we're okay. Everyone's okay. If they're not their night to score, then that's all right. If it's someone else's night, then that's okay too. So I think just keeping that mindset and, staying together, playing together, it's going to turn out for the better of the whole group. So that's what happened.
Talking to Veronica Sheffey, she won the Mountain West Tournament MVP last night for the Aztecs women's basketball team, and you're headed to the NCAA Tournament now. I mean, has that you said that things are still trying to sink in and you're still trying to make sense of it, but what does that mean to you?
I mean, it means everything. Just being able to go to the dance has been a dream come true, ever since I was little. And so I think being able to do that with this kind of team that we have is it's everything. And, I just want to give a shout out to Callie as well. Like, she played an amazing game.
Oh, yeah.
And I think her, fight and her spirit during the whole game regarding, the player of the year, I think it motivated everybody to take it up a notch and, step up to the plate and make a play when it needed to be made. So I think we're all super excited. The job's not done. We still got more to play. So we're all going to be watching and waiting to see who we play next, and we're going to get ready for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Veronica Sheffey is with us now. You had a new career high last night with 24 points. The reason I bring this up is your previous career high was 23. You know who that was against?
Yes, I do.
It was against San Diego State when you played at USD. And that was last year with the Toreros. I remember that game, and you torched us pretty good. Did the Aztecs come after you? Did you go after the Aztecs when the transfer portal happened? Because I imagine Stacey Terry and everybody else said, we got to get her on our side.
Yeah, they did. They did. Going to the transfer portal, I wasn't really sure of where I wanted to be and what the next, chapter was going to look like. But, they did reach out to me. I wasn't sure still because I think my mind was set as just getting out of the area that I was in and just kind of, finding something new. But after kind of a couple weeks going by, I did take a visit here and I got to talk with the coaches and things like that. And I think it was just a really good fit. They had already gone to the championship and they were already hungry for that for this upcoming year. And I just really liked the mindset that they had and the way they ran their team. And I got to meet some of the girls too. So I think it just turned out to be a really good fit. And, the coaches were super gracious to me and trusted and believed in me to, give me this opportunity. So it worked out perfectly.
Last one for me, Veronica. We talked to Adriana Quezada a couple weeks ago, and I asked about her video game playing and what she does outside of basketball. So I don't know that you play video games, but what's something that you do outside of basketball just to kind of take your mind off of things?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I like to do. I do have a hair business that I do on the side, so I'm really into hair and just hairstyling for other people as well, and so that takes up of my time. And then, I also like to just create videos and like cinematography videos. I'm really getting into that too. So
awesome.
Those are two things I'd probably say, but I like to dip my toe in a couple different things. So
sounds like it. I mean, you already got your own business. I think you're one of many on that team with their own businesses.
I tell these guys all the time that this is a bunch of sharp kids, and every time we have one of you guys on, everybody knows what I'm talking about. Last thing, Veronica, we appreciate the time, and I've talked to you about your dad, your brother, both played football, college football at Washington. What was their reaction after the game last night? And did they help you kind of get interested and excited about athletics when you were younger? And what does that mean to share this with them?
Yeah, this means the world. My family is everything to me, and I'm super close to my family. And so they weren't at the tournament this whole time because they're with my younger siblings, had their state tournaments this past weekend. So it was a busy week for them. But they made it happen and got everybody out here for this one game. And
wow.
I was super happy that they were there and just seeing them on the court after the game. It was everything. And, my brother, he's the reason I play the sport. I just grew up watching him being in the gym all the time. And so just to be able to share that moment with him, we've been talking about this ever since we were young. And my mom and my dad both coached me. And so even my sister too, she played with me for a little bit as well. So it's just everyone was able to experience this. We all be able to experience it together. So it was really special.
Well, the best thing about winning last night is that this team gets to stay together for another couple of weeks at least. And, that's a great thing. And we're excited for you and, look forward to Sunday and find out where you play and then get back to work. But what a performance you and the team turned in last night. Veronica Sheffey, thanks so much for your time. We'll see you soon.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
You betcha. All right, there she goes. Veronica Sheffey, the tournament MVP after a game for the ages, 3 overtime classic last night. 72-68 was the final score for the Aztecs over the Cowgirls. Josh Allen's Cowgirls came up short. Sorry about that, Josh.
I'm going to bring up Josh Allen tonight because he said something that is shocking in this day and age of a professional athlete.
I saw what he said, but I'll let you
go ahead. I mean, we could say.
Well, didn't he say something about the fact that he wasn't trying to?
He basically said $5 extra $1 million isn't really going to change things. I'd rather just take my money and not have to deal with all the negotiation and go for it.
So are you kind of classic? I mean, you happy
I think
about
that's classy.
That? Yeah. I don't understand why more guys don't do it.
I don't
honestly.
know either. I mean, he's making $330 million.
I know.
That $5 million really it means something, but not in regards to 330.
The reason that they don't do it, and I'm not sticking up for it either way, the reason they don't do it is because they think they're better than the other guy who's making that much money.
Maybe.
So if Josh Allen's making $300 million, then I feel I should make $305, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
But I agree with you.
Yeah.
From our perspective, My voice is gone. It honestly just seems like it disappeared here in the last 5 minutes. I don't really have anything going anymore.
I actually think you're fine.
Thank you, Scrabby. I sound terrible.
I'll explain the schedule for our show and what's happening on the station tomorrow in the first segment of the Scrabby Show.
Okay, we'll be back tomorrow, but intermittently. So stick around for the Scrabby Chronicles. Gwynn and Chris, 97.3 The Fan. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for being part of that Aztec women's thing. It means a lot.
We've got a